bounce back, maybe.
Yeah.
One you more than likely didn't pay for. Or maybe you did. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because I paid to watch, but I didn't watch it. I'll be honest with you. Little man had a baseball game, and we got to the park. When we left the house to go to the baseball game, they were down 4-0 after the first inning. Then we got to the game and got into a little bit of warm-ups, and it was 9-0. And at that point, I'm like, you know what? One, I'm not even going to keep checking on the score. Two, I ain't going to watch it when I get home.
I watched every single pitch. Every single pitch. I wanted to watch how bad this team is, because I think you are in the majority.
Yeah.
I think the majority of folk turned it off when it was 4-0 or 9-0, 7-0. I wanted to watch every pitch just to see how bad this was. And oh boy,
Yep.
was it bad. By the way, the best part of the night was the broadcast show with Nate Bukaty. They gave Bukaty some love for like 2 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Just in the front row. And it was great.
I had a buddy that texted me that doesn't even live here, but knows like of Nate and stuff. Andy Sweeney, he's done some Chiefs stuff for us.
Yeah.
He's a big Yankees fan. What a jerk.
He's from New York?
His family is. And so he comes by it honestly.
Okay.
So he's not just
Just wanted to make sure.
Yep. It'd be like my little man being a UK fan.
Okay.
Right. It's like, oh, bandwagon basketball. Well, family is from there. He was born there, but so he's a Yankees fan. Comes by it honestly. Yankees and Giants, by the way. So he's not a bandwagon one of the other. He's Yankees fan, Giants fan.
Good for him.
Okay. And he texts me. He's like, dude, is that Nate Bukaty behind home plate? And I was at the game. Little man's game, and I looked behind home plate at my game, and I'm like, nope, that is not. That's a 7-year-old girl, which oftentimes could be confused with Nate. I don't know. I'm not here to judge. So I had no idea that was going on.
Yeah,
but that's awesome.
That was the reason why I didn't switch, because they kept going to Nate. It was about 2 minutes of loving him up. It was great. And
That's awesome,
I
man.
texted him. I said, hey, Nate, you're getting loved up right now.
Did he know that?
He goes, uh-oh. I was like, no, it was actually all good things.
Yeah. I bet.
Shocking, I know, all good things.
I bet he got bombarded with.
What he should have done, held up his book.
Yeah.
You want to talk about promo?
That's pretty nice. Yeah. Were they talking about the book?
They were talking about World Cup and what he's going to do, and gave a shout out. Longtime broadcaster, Sports Talk Radio, Sports Radio 810.
Oh, they did say a Sports Radio. That's nice.
Then they talked about I don't even know. Just a lot of Nate. They loved up Nate. And that's where the Royals are at right now.
Is
loving up the crowd.
The Nate Bukaty part of the story?
The best part of the night was them loving up Bukaty.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that could have happened in a 2-run loss, too. But
Book is on the shelves yesterday. His book came on the shelves. I did not get a chance to crack it open last night, but I'm going to tonight. Looking forward to that. I love the books that can combine the history of how a city got to a certain point, especially from the sports side, and also marry that with the current part of it and what's going on. How, essentially this area became the soccer capital of the United States. Not the lower cases, but the soccer capital of the United States. And I'm looking forward to cracking that thing open. Pumped about it. You're looking forward to cracking open a beer. And I'm looking forward
both.
Right, yes. Yes. Did you get your copy already?
If I had, I did. That was very, very nice. Yeah, so I had the copy.
Oh, he gave you one?
And Nate wrote a nice, cute little.
Hold on, he gave you one and wrote a note?
That was cute. I liked it.
He did that with me too. So I
it was
didn't want to
cute.
say anything just in case you didn't get that.
He wrote the same thing. You're the best host of the zone. He wrote it.
That's what he wrote to me. Yeah, actually, you're the second best host of the zone, so I guess he was just keeping it consistent.
The best was Darcy.
That's right. Just got to keep it consistent, man. It's like, Jason, you're the second best Anderson that's ever been a part of the zone.
Speaking of consistency,
like, oh, cool.
Bailey Falter was consistently bad. I have never seen a guy get shelled that bad. I feel semi-bad for Ryan Lefevre on TV, because he had to keep talking about how, maybe he's tipping his pitches. He for 20 minutes.
Can't be that he just isn't any good.
And what's he supposed to say?
I know. I agree. Like
I was getting mad at him because, and mad at him's a strong word. I'm mad at the situation, and so you're going to take it out on anything and anyone. But I look back and go, what's he supposed to say? That he's just ass?
Yeah,
like, you can't just go on radio, on the Royals radio, and say, hey, this guy's ass.
And Ryan's job is to offer, the game that's going on, but also his job as a part of the Royals organization is to present the players in the best light,
Yes.
while also trying to be fair to the listening audience or
Correct.
viewing audience that's there. So, and I think he does a really, really good job
He
of
does.
marrying those two. Of there are some criticisms that are there, but also, what are the different things that may be going on, while not just saying, well, this guy just sucks. I mean, he's the suckiest sucks that ever sucked. And
He makes Brandon Maurer look serviceable.
yeah, he doesn't have to be Marty Brenneman. That was, the long time play-by-play, the Denny Matthews of the Reds.
Oh, yeah.
Long time, not the son.
Yeah.
The dad, who would just constantly destroy Reds players and the Reds, and just criticize constantly. Like, he was one of the guys that hated on base percentage, and he would just
Joey Votto.
clown Joey Votto. Oh, have the $20 million to walk with a guy on third base. And he takes a walk, does Joey Votto. So let's just hand the bat to the next guy. He'll do the job. And it just, in the broadcast, just offering that after a walk. And but, Ryan's really good at doing some of those things. But right, what is he supposed to do last night? What is anybody supposed to do except leave after you get your Pasquatch bobblehead and then jet and get out of there? Because, again, I hit the eject button not even watching it, on just keeping track of it from time to time.
I was a sucker for pain.
It's like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm going home, and when I get home, I'll turn on the NBA game. I'm not going to rewatch this Royals game. I'm going to flush it. I don't think they should, and that's part of this conversation from last night.
If you are my serious takeaway, because I watched the entire game. I wanted to watch it. I wanted to see how bad could this get.
Yeah.
This is becoming Mike Trout on the Angels. And I went and tweeted. I went back and looked at the old Mike Trout hits a home run as the Angels lose 8-3. He raises his average to, the whole joke of tungsten arm O'Doyle.
Right.
But that is a little bit of what Bobby Witt Jr. has become. He has become the Mike Trout of the Angels.
Yeah. And Mike Trout made the playoffs in 2014. And they got swept by the Royals.
The Royals made it once so far with Bobby Witt Jr.
That's right.
They did at least beat the
They
Orioles.
won the wild card, but they lost in the divisional round. They did not have home field advantage like the Angels did in that one in 2014.
And again, I'll also point out Mike Trout at his peak was a top 5 player in maybe baseball
Absolutely.
history.
But I get the joke and the point about we have so much fun with the Angels like that. You don't want it to be 2028, and the tweets are about the Royals and Bobby Witt.
And we're starting to see national fans do that. I saw so much of the Bobby Witt Jr. hits a home run as they cut the lead to 8. You know the whole Chris Paul when he hits the 3 in the corner?
Yes, that's right.
Chris Paul hits a big 3 to cut the lead to 45
Yeah, right.
in the playoffs, whatever that was. We're starting to see that with Bobby Witt Jr. And that's just not fun to watch.
No.
It's funny when it's not your team. Like when Mike Trout does all
it's
those
funny when it's
crazy
the
things.
Angels, yeah.
But seeing Bobby Witt Jr. do what he has done, seeing 112 off the bat of Bailey Falter as Bobby Witt Jr. is trying to dive halfway into center field, trying to make a play down 7-0, 5-0, whatever it was, you're just disappointed. And I think there's a lot to get into. I think the overarching thought is they put so much stock into 24 being the norm, being that if all these things go – everything went right in 24.
And this group of players is the group that will repeat 2024.
Correct.
Unlucky in 25, but 26 will be reverting back to what 2024 looked like.
And I actually and now we obviously have a larger sample size. 24 was everything going right. 25, I think, was base case, was the average situation, right? I think that was maybe the very, very average of what that team could do.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when things go bad. I think we're seeing all 3 outcomes. Could that team make the playoffs? Yeah, we saw it in 24. If things all go right.
Yeah.
What happens if things go normal? Well, last year, you end up being basically a 500 ball club.
Yeah.
What happens if things go wrong?
It looks like this.
It looks like this.
And I was one of the people before the season started that felt like this was the right group of players to get back to the playoffs. Now, that was the right group of players that I was hoping would be healthier than a year ago, that you would see more outings from Cole Reagans and Chris Bubich at this point in the season, because even Chris Bubich last year made 20 starts before he got injured. And so that was the hope. Not knowing what to expect from Carlos Estevez, but he was a slow starter. That was the discussion. And when we were talking about these things, he had a lower velo. But again, that's going to change when the games start. We'll give benefit of the doubt because this is somebody that has done it year after year after year. Matt Strom in the 8th inning changes the calculus a little bit with Urseg being able to get back to his role of moving around and being that, fireman in the 7th inning, could be in the 8th inning. You can go lefty-righty with Strom and Urseg in the 8th inning, and then Estevez to close it out. Also, you've got an emerging Daniel Lynch that looked good last year. We'll see what he can do. And you've got 7 guys, 6 that you feel really good about in your starting rotation with Bergert down in the minors, with your starting 5, and then Bergert in AAA, and maybe Kolek. We'll see. He looked good at the end last year, but what does that really mean? Don't really know. They like Luinder Avila. He's going to start in the minors. So you've got a couple of options for pitcher number 7. You've got depth there. There was a hope that Jonathan India had a renewed love of the game in the offseason by just going back to his home, cutting his hair, and just working out with his high school coach and his dad, with his family there, of like falling back in love with the game and not having every day be a mental grind and not enjoy going to the ballpark. And it is tough to be a professional baseball player if you don't enjoy going to the ballpark, because you got to do it every single day.
That's what the money's for.
800%. Absolutely. It is absolutely what the money's for.
$8 million contract was for.
So there was, at least for me, some hope of what this team looked like. Right? Vinny coming off a 30 and a 100. They brought the fences in. Jack getting an opportunity to bounce back, or not bounce back, but progress. Carter, the way he ended the season, if he can look even a version of that, would be great, because now you've got a backup catcher that's not Freddie Fermin, who was an awesome defensive catcher, but now you got a backup offensive catcher that can DH, that can do some other things. You've got Garcia off of a career year that is now signed in a Gold Glove. The left side of the infield is solidified. You've got a left fielder in Isaac Collins that you feel good about. You've got 2 guys coming off the bench that can hit lefties really well in their career, that can play those roles. You've got what feels like a real team, that the pieces fit together. And it hasn't been that, because some of the bigger pieces were bad at the beginning of the season. And then other bigger pieces got injured. Matt Strom, Carlos Estevez,
Sure,
Cole Reagans, Chris Bubich, Jonathan India, Vinny's back, Salvi's hip. Like, the injuries have been a big part of this season that I do think have to, in fairness, be acknowledged of what this season has been. It hasn't been all about the injuries, but I do think there's a decent portion about the injuries, because Bailey Falter went to the mound last night and not Bubich or Cole Reagans. That makes a massive difference.
yes.
It's Daniel Lynch and Lucas Urseg in the 8th and 9th on Monday, instead of Daniel Lynch, Lucas Urseg, Matt Strom, and Carlos Estevez available in the 7th, 8th, and 9th against the Yankees, which is what you expected to have going into this season.
Again, Ursig, though, was still part of the equation.
I agree.
He still didn't do his job.
Totally. And it's unfortunate, and one of the things I'm going to talk to Jeff Montgomery about is, if Urseg has the same outing that he had on Monday night as a starter in the 2nd inning, you laugh it off and go, stupid baseball. A little popper to shortstop that checks up, a swinging bunt down the 3rd base line that stays fair and hugs the grass. Like,
sure,
this is dumb. You gave up 2 runs, but, you understand that sort of baseball there. 9th inning, it makes it all the more difficult and frustrating because you only got one more chance to come back. You don't have 7 or 8 more chances to go up to the plate to make up for those 2 runs. You got 3 outs, and that's it.
Well, and you know my thoughts on that. Again, if you are a starter, that's okay because you're trying to go deep into the game.
Yeah.
If you are a reliever, you need to have put-away stuff. You have to get strikeouts and chase rate and all that stuff.
And that's where the strikeout comes in because
he does not have that. And
that's
so
a good point.
That's my difference.
Yeah.
When I push back on weak contact in the 9th from closers,
yeah,
it can be unlucky, but 2, your job's to get out of it and strike guys out. You have 1 inning.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have 1 inning.
The more you put the ball in play, the better chance it is of there being a hit, because if you don't put the ball in play, you can't get a hit.
And we saw that with the 14-15 Royals, better than any other team to put that into fruition. So this team is full of suck. Like,
It's one way of describing it, yes.
well, no, it is. Like,
I mean, I'm with you on
this
that.
is the suck cut.
Yeah.
It sucks while it cuts.
Yes.
And this team certainly does suck. And there's a lot of guys that need to get cut.
Well.
And so when I look at this team right now, the league average OPS hovers from 710 to 720. That's the league average OPS. You can take a guess at how many guys on the Royals have a league average OPS or better?
3.
1.
It's Bobby?
Bobby. If you want to count Elias Diaz in his 22 at-bats, we can.
He's not even on the team anymore.
I know, that's my point.
Yeah.
So
Garcia's dropped below 710.
he is at 692. Cags is the next closest at 706. Carter's at 701. And no one else is above 700 between Carter, Cags, and Bobby.
Well, I'll tell you what, you tell me before the season that Carter and Cags are going to OPS better than Michael Garcia. I'm feeling really good.
Vinny.
And Vinny, I'm feeling really good about what this season's going to be. Now, I would offer the caveat at that point of like, well, there's a chance that Michael Garcia reverts back to 2025 or 2024.
Which he has.
And Vinny has a slow start and doesn't break out of that particular slump in time. So maybe it's a generic OPS for Cags and Carter. But I would still take my chances and say if that's the case, I'm loving what this offense is going to look like. But
and so
that
for
has not
all
been
the
the
thought
case.
process of they're going to overhaul and walk more and the fences are in, so the slug will be up. So walks and slug, what does that mean? Higher OPS.
Yeah.
That has not been the case at all. Only one guy's above league average OPS, and that's Bobby. Only 3 guys total above 700, and that's 701 and 706 for Carter and Cags. Kyle Isbell, for his torrid start, who was outstanding, Kyle Isbell is now down to a 679 OPS. Nick Lofton, who came on very strong, is now down. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Kyle and Lofton because they did great things early on. But again, 679 now for Kyle Isbell, about to what his career is.
Yeah.
And Lofton's back down to 672, about down to what his career is. Again, I'm not trying to pick on these guys, but for all the guys you thought that the minor pieces winning in the margins might do better, they're now back to league average, or back to their career average.
Well, let's take a timeout. We'll come back on the other side of the break. There was something that we heard last night post-game that I really want to talk about because it brings up a bigger issue than just losing some games. Bailey Falter was out there on the mound as the starter in a bullpen game. But we'll hear what Bailey Falter felt about being put in that position. And I want to talk about who does that say more about. We'll do that coming up next. All right, Jason Anderson here telling you about Kalshi, the largest prediction market out there and the only federally regulated financial exchange dedicated to trading on the outcome of future events. The first one that has done that, regulated in the U.S., available in all 50 states, not out there based in a different country. And the world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. You can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. And in less than a month, Argentina is going to be playing here in Kansas City. And right now, Argentina is trading at almost 10%, which means that a $100 trade pays out over $1,000 if they win soccer's biggest prize. And the cool part about what, Kalshi offers is that you can trade in and out of your position as the tournament goes along. You go and place some other things at different sites, you got to wait till that event is done. At Kalshi, I get Argentina at almost 10%, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, and all of a sudden that starts going up. They look good. They're playing better. It starts trading at a different part. I can trade out of my position depending on where the market goes. You like the NBA? Well, San Antonio right now trading at 58% for that game coming up in Game 6. $100 going to win you 162. Maybe you think Oklahoma City closes it out. They're at 42% right now. $100 will win you 228. Or maybe Major League Baseball. Maybe you think the Royals can find a way to get by Garrett Cole. that is trading for the Royals to win at 42% as well. It is everything from sports to politics to pop culture, you name it, and there is a market for it, and it is peer-to-peer. Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market. There's no house. As the probability changes, again, you can buy in and out of your position. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code JASON810, JASON810, and you're going to get $10 when you trade 10. That is Kalshi, 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 trade on anything.
18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
We'll talk with Jeff Montgomery coming up at noon. Mick Schaefer will join us at 1 o'clock. KSHB 41 Sports Director, presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. My son's birthday party coming up this weekend there. I think that's going to be like a 5-year running joke. Yeah. My son is going to be leaving for college. And I think we'll say, oh, my son, before his college send-off is going to be at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk.
Honestly, it should be fun.
You know what's cool, though?
I love going up there.
I do, too.
I guess down there.
Yeah, that's right. It would be. Boy, if you're up there, you're really down there. If you're going to go up there,
yeah,
that's true.
I'm bad at that. I just kind of say up, down, whenever.
Yes, my little man. They're at camp right now. Camp starting this week for them, and their afternoon camp is taking different field trips to different places. So, like today, they're going to the zoo. Yesterday, it was so awesome because when I grew up and was a youngster, right around us was Cool Crest. Oh, yeah. That's where they went yesterday. Gosh, they went as a field trip to Cool Crest. And I'm like, oh, do they still have the go-karts there and then the batting cage? And he was like, no, they got an arcade. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's kind of lame.
I was like, oh, dang it, I loved, like, I talked with them all the time because, we'll go up to the baseball lab in the winter and have this nice facility and all these tunnels to hit on a, hitting a batting cage and stuff like that and hit off a machine. And I'm like, back in the day, that was called going to the batting cage and putting the coins in there.
Yeah, I still remember the coins.
And waiting for that arm.
I wonder when that switch.
And hitting that 75-pound yellow ball.
Yes,
that you hit.
The damn yellow balls.
Oh, my God, they were terrible, dude. I mean, you want to talk about hurting your hands if you hit it off the end of the bat or you got jammed.
I had stitches one time.
Really?
Yeah,
because you hit it off the end of the bat, you tore like.
I had a foul tip, and it busted my. I've had stitches
right
in my
above
face
your brow,
like 5 or 6 times. I've had I think 3 or 4 different times on my eyebrows stitches. What
are you, former boxer?
Two baseball injuries, 1 boxing injury actually. Funny enough, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
One rollerblading injury.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then 1 snowball injury.
Oh well, yeah, that also makes sense. You put batteries in the snowball, right? You were in Philly at that time.
But yeah, foul tip. That yellow ball came back and just busted my eye open.
I'm like, see, that's how we grew up. You sometimes, and you didn't know where that thing was going. You couldn't really control it, and you weren't that back there behind the machine adjusting a little bit. Oh, that was a little high. Let me just lower this machine a little bit. Oh, you want to speed it up? That's fine. Sorry, can't speed it up or slow it down. Your coin is already here at the 50-mile-an-hour tunnel. And now you go over there to the 40-mile-an-hour tunnel. Sorry. Oh, there's 4 people in line for the 40. You got to wait now until those 4 people are done with the 40-mile-an-hour tunnel.
If you're short like me, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, let's go to like the 65, and I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
The ball's coming in like at my chin.
Yeah.
I'm like,
pause.
I guess I'm gonna be a good foul ball hit or a good high ball hitter.
There you go.
I'm
yes.
like, it's
high fastballs can't hit them, can't lay off them, Kit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, this is that's what it was back in my day. And also to get to the batting cage, we walked uphill.
And
both ways.
They're sliding on these nice things now. We were sliding into nails, just gravel and nails.
Dude, I talked to
rusty.
Me and my little man talked about that because all these tournaments are now on turf everywhere because you want to be able to make sure you can get the games in if it's going to be raining a little bit or a heavy rain. It's on turf, it drains, you can play as long as there's no lightning or any storms. It's like other games that might be rained out in the dirt. On turf, hey, you get to keep these games going. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand what it was like back in the day on the fields we played on. Ain't nobody dragging the field between games. You know what I mean? Like,
you're the second game, third game as the game's going. First game, you were thrilled. First game, awesome.
I'm like
some fairly true hops.
I'm watching them and I'm like, there is no reason for you to ever field a ball to the side.
Yeah.
It's as true of a hop as you are always going to get on turf. The reason I never played in the dirt when I was a kid and always in the outfield.
Because you're soft?
Yes. And also, it's not about like, oh, you're just reading the hops. At any point, that thing will pop up and hit you in the face to where you develop a habit of your glove is not facing down. It's not out in front of you. My glove is up, guarding my face. I'm almost backhanding it the whole time if I'm going to be on dirt. No, thank you.
Yeah.
These kids and their spoiled ass,
we were just playing on rocks, not
exactly.
even dirt.
You can't even
small little pebbles.
Like my son has like a sliding little scab on his right knee from turf. And he's like, "Oh man, it hurts. I don't really want to."
Oh, dude, I'll show you what hurts. I'll make it hurt.
Right?
Huh?
You want to cry? I'll give you something to cry about. You
Yeah.
know? Laugh, and the world laughs with you. Cry, and I'll
You
give
want
you
a
something to cry
hurts
about.
donut?
Hurts, don't it?
And these don't get me started on kids and their sliding mitts.
Oh yeah.
Don't get me started.
Sliding mitts, but then you slide feet first.
Yes. What has happened? Kids these days.
I'm with you, man. Sliding mitts, sliding feet first. I'll never
You wear a
understand it.
sliding mitt. I'm going to go out there and bean them.
Yes.
Okay?
You're going to bean somebody by wearing a sliding mitt?
I'm going to go up there and just.
You're going to be the Oklahoma 11, the 11U in the tournament over the weekend at Cap Fed up north of the kid that threw the ball at the other dugout, the pitcher.
Well, probably because they were wearing
see that?
sliding mitts. No, but they probably were
didn't see
rocking
that?
sliding mitts.
Oh,
Why
man.
would I have seen that?
They were.
Why would
because
I have
it's all
seen
over the
an
news.
11-year-old?
It's all over the news because the kid was on the mound. It was a Nebraska elite playing.
What, was 50 Cent throwing the ball?
I don't think so. No, he was 11 years old. I don't think Fiddy's 11 years old. But he was on the mound, and the allegation is that the other coach said to throw at the kid that was there, and the kid backed out of the batter's box. But then the next pitch, because the team that was up was winning, and the dugout was pretty loud, which happens as 10, 11, 12. They're enjoying themselves, and the kid went into the stretch, right over into the dugout, straight to the dugout. At that point, forfeit. You're done. You lose. The team that's batting wins. Coach, you're out. Player, you're out.
I'm kind of surprised that Bailey Falter didn't take that method.
Yeah, there it is. There's our transition. But yeah, that happened here. It's all over the news, and it happened here at Cap Fed at the Memorial Day, Super 30 tournament.
And it happened here that the Royals, who said they were trying to compete this year, started Bailey
Yes.
Falter in a
That's right.
game and give up 7 runs.
You could say that they really faltered. So he faced 16 batters. Maybe you guys have seen this or not. And I'm going to play the clip from Bailey Falter, his entire post-game availability. But before we play that, I want you guys to give me a number here. He faced 16 batters. Maybe you've already seen this or not. How many of those batters out of 16 had a not 90, not 95, not 97, a 100-mile-an-hour exit velocity off the ball put in play? How many of the 16 had 100? 100 is hard to get to. There's
Yeah.
usually maybe 4 or 5 per game that might get to 100.
I'll
Because
say
it's difficult.
7, because Trent Grisham's, for example, wasn't 100. That was the first line out.
It was a line out at 93. 93 is freaking fast.
I'll say 11.
11.
What?
Here are the 16 batters he faced and their exit velocities. You ready? 92.8. Nice way to start. 109.6, 105.1, 106.2, 107. A lot of FM stations here. 101.2, 105.9, 103.1, 86.5. Out number 3 for the first inning in the pop out. Let's start the second inning. 102.4, 97 from Aaron Judge. 84.1, how about that from Cody Bellinger after hitting 105 and a home run. 100.9, 105.1, 103.6, 98.3. If I said 97 or more, it would be 13 of the 16 had exit velocities of 97. Those are the exit velocities off of Bailey Falter last night. I mean, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. That ain't lucky when something falls in. In fact, the 2 lineouts he had in the first inning were lucky that he hit it right at somebody. And it was a little unlucky that the 107.4 off the bat just got under, Jack's glove.
Yeah,
and whether that was overturnable or not.
Way,
Yes.
Oh, wait, the Yankees got a help from New York?
Yeah, what are the odds?
Shocked.
Let's hear from Bailey Falter and what he had to say. And this was a really interesting post-game commentary from Bailey Falter because he's taking some of the blame, but he's also passing some of the blame to the coaching staff and his surroundings.
Just falling behind in counts, not hitting locations, not feeling the best either.
Feeling physically not feeling the best you're talking about there? Or?
Just didn't really have anything behind the ball today, so I don't know if that's just being in the bullpen for 5 days and then getting a start or not really having a role, just rolling with the punches right now.
How much does that overturn call in the first kind of alter your game plan out there?
It's hard to have a game plan when you don't have anything working, so you just try to do the best you can with what you have, and tonight I didn't have anything.
It was kind of a longer review. Does that change things for you at all?
No, not in my mind.
Were you surprised that they overturned it? Or do you not really look at that?
I wasn't surprised.
Sure.
So you mentioned just the long layup. What have you been doing just to try and stay fresh and prepare for an opportunity like this?
I've been in the bullpen the past few days, so been trying to do my bullpen routine. Just trying to stay ready just in case I do get in the game, and then just another late minute start. So kind of just throws a whole ranch in the plan.
Frustration that you're feeling with just the role right now and what you're being asked to do?
I'm extremely frustrated, yeah. My job is to take the ball whenever my name's called, so just not really having a role right now. It's tough for the whole mental prep, the game prep, just trying to figure out a happy medium right now.
The last time when we had spoke, you were frustrated that you felt like your bullpens had been going well, and then in the game it wasn't resulting in that. Was that the feeling again tonight?
No, actually the bullpen was terrible warming up, so I thought I was going to have a better night, but it's tough throwing in a major league game when you not feeling the best, can't hit your spots, and you fall behind in counts.
Did you feel good starting? You got the first two guys out, I think 2 pitches, right?
Yeah, there was hard contact, but good thing it was right at somebody.
Well, you mentioned the bullpen ahead of the game not going well. Did you extend it at all? Is there anything you can do in that moment to feel better just going into the night?
My stuff was all over the place, so I didn't really know what to do at that point. I was just trying to hit spots, and the command wasn't there.
Tough to pitch when you fall behind, you can't hit your spots, didn't feel well, nothing behind my pitches. But, not really having a role, just rolling with the punches. Another late minute start. And then asked about his role. Yeah, it's extremely frustrated. Who does that say more about? Is it Falter? Or does it say more about the coaches in he's saying, I'm pitching out of the bullpen the last number of days after starting 5 days ago in Chris Bubich's spot. And I'm getting prepared every day to be available to pitch out of the bullpen. And now this day comes along and it's a, quote, another late minute start, end quote. Was he not notified that a bullpen game was going on today? Haven't we been talking about that the next time through the order for Chris Bubich, is it going to be Avila? Is it going to be Bailey Falter? Now, maybe that's what he's talking about. Am I going to start? And even if that's the case, then you would have to be prepared that I may not start, but I'm going to come in the 3rd inning or the 4th inning. Or why not take the same approach that you would if you're going to come in and just doing my bullpen routine? Now, maybe his bullpen routine is during the game, and then he's got to move that up when he's starting. Honestly, was he not told he was going to start until yesterday or Monday night after the game? Did they not communicate this with him, that this was going to be a bullpen game? So I think there's an element there of getting to the bottom of how he feels like it was another late-minute start, and that affected the entire routine. So I get it where professionals are creatures of habit. But I do know what Bailey Falter's role on this team is. To be a professional pitcher and go to the mound. That's your role. To pitch when you're called upon. That's your role. And to act like, well, I come out of the bullpen and I got to be ready to do that. I've been doing these things the last 3 days just to be ready to come out of the bullpen. Okay, cool. Come out of the bullpen in the 1st inning.
Yeah.
In the 1st inning, come out of the bullpen. Like, I get it starting, not whatever. But not really having a role. You do have a role. You're a major league pitcher. Your role is to pitch in the major leagues and to get that major league check, because I'm going to guess there may not be many more for you in the big leagues. You may not have many more days where you are getting the major league check, not the AAA check. Because today, if I'm hearing that from Bailey Falter, then I've got to look in the mirror from the coaches and say, where did we come up short if, in fact, we didn't do this? Or is he just saying this as an excuse, and he's been notified all along, be ready for Tuesday. We haven't made a full decision, but be ready for Tuesday. I don't put out a lineup today before he's DFA'd, if I'm the Royals. He's done nothing to prove that he should be on the team, And then he throws the coaches under the bus saying, well, it's tough to do this when you don't have a role, and I'm just trying to roll with the punches, and it's another late-minute start, and I'm extremely frustrated with what my role has been. Cool. Enjoy your role in AAA, or actually not even AAA, because they're going to DFA you, and I would guess you wouldn't accept an assignment to AAA. You probably just want to split from the organization. So, okay, bye-bye.
And for that reason, I'm out. I mean...
Thank you, Mark Cuban.
I understand it can be difficult, and I do think that whether it's Q, I'd assume it's Q, deserves some of the blame for the notification time period that
Q will talk. So Q already talked before the clubhouse was open.
Yeah.
So we heard from Q before we heard from Bailey Falter. So Q before the game, I'm going to guess we'll be asked about. Bailey Falter said he doesn't understand his role, and it was a late-minute start. Was there no communication between you and Bailey Falter that he was going to start today as a bullpen game?
But the point still remains, you don't throw 92 dead center, whether you're a starter or a bullpen guy. Like, I understand the thought process can be different. Like, I don't argue that it could be semi-challenging. Doesn't mean you have to go out and give up 11 of the 16 batters you face
100 miles an hour
100 plus miles an hour off the bat. Like, I don't get that. Like, I don't understand Bailey's. I know he's frustrated, right? I think that's a guy who understands that he's probably at the end of his major league rope, or at least here in Kansas City. You just got absolutely rocked, probably worse than you've ever gotten shelled in your entire, not just major league career, but probably going back to high school, college, all of that, right? So I get being frustrated for sure. Like, I do think we have to at least take that into consideration of some of the comments because, yeah, I would be pissed too. He sounded pissed off. I get that. Same time, whether you were going to be a starter or a reliever, that's no excuse for getting shelled, throwing everything like that, and then semi-complaining. It comes off soft.
Yes.
And it makes it sound like you deserve a specific role on this team.
Yeah.
Like, you should know, like, Luinder Avila is in the same situation you are.
Yep.
I'm not saying Avila's been phenomenal.
Was Avila not ready to come in and back up Bailey Falter like he did the exact same thing the last time in Chris Bubich's spot in the rotation? I mean, when we asked Luinder Avila, was this a late minute, you're going to come in after Bailey Falter as the opener, then you're the next in line. Be ready for the one time through the order for Bailey Falter, and then you're up. So be ready for the second or third inning to be ready to go. He did it last time. So was he not ready this time? Was he notified at 2 o'clock yesterday? Get ready to pitch tonight in the third?
Yeah, I'm not saying Avila's been phenomenal, but we haven't heard this, or he hasn't been at least this bad either. Like, Ryan Yarbrough had this exact situation for the Royals when he was here, right?
Yep.
Did we ever hear him complain? I mean, he still has had that situation wherever he's gone, Tampa here and New York and L.A., all that. I mean,
because there are worse things to be doing.
When you are that guy, when you are a swing man, when you are a long reliever, there's always a chance of you being a starter or getting a spot start. I'm just fascinated the fact that a guy with a 13-plus ERA thinks that he deserves a specified starting role, I guess, on this team. I'm perplexed at the almost audacity of getting shelled in a nearly historic way that you would come out and say, well, yeah, it's because I didn't have a defined role. It's frustrating.
Well, and you mentioned the ERA. Do you think the result would have been different if he came in the third inning?
Yeah, right. You didn't have his stuff in the bullpen. You didn't have your stuff in the game. You said you didn't have anything behind it. So if you would have come into the game in the 6th or 7th inning, all of a sudden you would have been fine. Like, your job is long relief. Your job is to eat innings. Your job is not to pitch the 7th or the 8th or the 9th. Unless, of course, the 9th inning and they need you to Tyler Tolbert that thing. That's when you pitch or you're an opener. But if you want a defined role, you had an opportunity when they traded for you, and you went out there and threw 4 innings, 7 earned runs with 10 base runners, 4 innings, 2 earned runs with 6 base runners, 2 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 innings, 4 earned runs. Those were the 4 outings he had last year with the Royals. As opposed to Kolick that had quality start, quality start, quality start, quality start. He got 2 starts Pitched a total of 8 innings. He gave up 9 runs. And 16 base runners in the 8 innings. And then they moved him to the bullpen. He had an opportunity. Kolek had an opportunity. Kolek's going out there throwing quality starts. Bailey Falter isn't. It's his own, you would say, falter that he's not in a more specified role than he is right now. They gave him an opportunity. They traded for you. Gave you an opportunity. You haven't taken advantage of that opportunity. And now you're complaining because they haven't gone out of their way to give you a specific role when you've done nothing to earn any role on the big league club. You have not shown that you can pitch in the big leagues with the Royals. You haven't earned a role with the Royals. Yeah, okay, you had a 3.70 ERA last year with the Pirates when they traded for you. That's cool. You've been trash since the Royals had you. Is it the Royals' fault? Is it your fault? I don't know. Go back to Pittsburgh then. When they DFA you, go sign with Pittsburgh. Maybe you'll rediscover whatever it is that you had last year when you had those starts and had a sub-4 ERA. Because it ain't happening right now.
Good thing Evan Sisk has been bad.
Yeah, that was that the deal, Evan Sisk for Bailey Falter?
He's got a 1.61 ERA, 26 strikeouts.
Yeah, if you're into that sort of thing. But why would you want a sub-2 ERA? That sounds boring.
Why would you want to go pitch 22 in the third innings with a 1.61 ERA?
But that's boring. You can have a guy go out there and give up 109, 105, 106, 107, 101. Like, we like to see that from Mizorowski. Why can't we see that from the opposing hitters? You know?
That is so fresh. I'm looking at Evan Sisk right now and what he's done, and...
Yeah. Can't win them all.
No, but that'd be a nice one.
Yeah. I mean, it would also be like, you know, if you didn't trade Zerpa this last year, then you don't have Collins.
and we liked the trade at the time.
Yeah.
This one was...
They were throwing numbers at it, and I'm okay with the overall trades throwing numbers at different starters that the pitching staff had familiarity with. And who was it from Pittsburgh, part of the coaching staff or pitching staff, that had a past with Bailey Falter? So it was like, okay, you can bring this guy in, but it hasn't worked out. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling. At 11 o'clock, or at least in the 11 o'clock hour, we'll talk more Chiefs. But I do want to hear from Matt Quattrero and Vinny Pasquantino. We'll get into that at 11 o'clock from what they said in the clubhouse last night. Longer, extended comments from those two individuals about the frustration that's taking place. I was going to cut a clip or two from Vinny, and then I just kept listening to the entire post game, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to play this whole thing. So we'll do that coming up at 11 o'clock. More Zone next.
This is your reminder to check in daily, because every day during the NBA playoffs, FanDuel is serving up a happy hour. And you don't get hungover after this happy hour. This is a happy hour for me, for you, and for everyone, 21 plus, of course. We're talking special drops you don't want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. I was rocking this yesterday. Yeah, that baseball game wasn't very good. The NBA game, it was. I had the over. That one hit easily. Easy little win for me, and I did it right there on FanDuel. You can check for a new reward every single day of the NBA playoffs, and don't miss your shot to get a little extra out of the action. We got a game going back to San Antonio tomorrow. What's been crazy is we're seeing Jared McCain start to get hot. He was hot in that fourth quarter, helped carry and solidify that win for OKC. But Alex Caruso has gone on a nice little heater. And by the way, if you're going to talk about rebounds, Hartenstein for the Thunder, 15. Might want to start rolling with him more and more on the overs with those rebounds. The choice is all up to you. The choice is right there on FanDuel. So head to FanDuel.com/local to get started.
21 plus and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, hanging out on a Wednesday edition of The Zone. We'll talk with Jeff Montgomery coming up at noon. We'll get into some Chiefs talk coming up in the next segment. Let's start off with Q. Here's Matt Quattrero last night. It was a longer press conference, but this is about 2 minutes of a little Q&A from the assembled media. And by the way, I think Curtis Seabolt deserves hazard pay for covering the game for us last night. And he did stay to the end and work the clubhouse and Matt Quattrero. But here is Q in discussing the frustrations of the night and, of course, the season.
Yeah, you're trying to stay in, and it's the inning, the third inning when we go to Avila. I thought Avila threw the ball well in that inning. Ground ball from Volpe, ground ball from Bellinger. It's soft hit from Wells, but it didn't go our way. It was a tough night to watch all the way around.
Do you sense that in the dugout as well, just that feeling of
Yeah, we were getting our brains beat in. Nobody feels good. Nobody wants to stand there and watch that. But that's the reality of what happened in the game. There's nowhere to go.
Is there anything you say differently after one like this?
Let's get them tomorrow. No, there's a meeting is not going to change the result of that game or the way we're going to come out and play tomorrow.
How difficult is it to stay the course like you're talking about there when things have just yet to change this season?
There's no alternative but to stay the course. We're not gonna blow things up. These guys are working their butts off. We talk about it all the time. You got to trust that in the people and the processes that you have, and we got to go out there and play better.
Matt, do you sense that is the response typically from the clubhouse? Just that trust you mentioned that this will improve?
Yes.
What makes you?
Because I'm in there with them every day. I see it. I hear it. I'm in the conversations. I know what's going on with the work. Nobody feels good in there, right? I don't want to make that the message, but I know the guys in that room care a lot, and they care about each other. And if we bond together, we'll figure it out. But it's not an easy thing to do. I'm not saying you push a button and all of a sudden you're done. But I have belief in that group of guys.
Is there any concern that that it doesn't happen, that the frustration takes over at this point?
No.
This is for the same reasons you're talking.
Yeah, those guys are high character, high work ethic guys. The staff is the same way. There's no give up in these guys, right? Look at Lane Thomas running that ball out in the bottom of the ninth inning, down 15-1. That's high character. That's wanting it, right? And that's the kind of guys that are in that room.
I'm not going to do it. You're going to try to get me to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I texted Jason last night. I said, Jason, you won't believe it. Q gave a shout out to Lane Thomas running to first base.
Not going to do it.
Maybe, just maybe, Lane Thomas wanted to go home. It was a long night at the ballpark for everybody involved.
Yeah, not going to do it. Yeah, everybody's frustrated. It starts to wear thin. And I don't know, throwing a table or whatever. Here's Vinny, though. Those are the things you expect a manager to say. But I wanted to play this. This is Vinny post-game. I was going to cut like a clip or two from this, but then he just kept answering. And I'm like, wow, it's pretty good stuff from Vinny Pasquantino, that has been a guy that stood at his locker and told everybody that, he takes a lot of responsibility for what's going on, and he's one of the leaders of the clubhouse. So let's hear from Vinny Pasquantino talking about what this clubhouse has been like during this long, rough stretch of baseball.
Yeah, we don't really have a choice but to get through this. So, yeah, he's right. We're going to see what this clubhouse is made of. I would agree with him. I think we got a good group of guys in here. I think we got a lot of confidence in here, but we got to go do it. Words are just words, right? So it's nice to have faith, but we got to go out there and prove it.
I feel like it's wearing on some guys or the clubhouse overall, just when you just don't have yet to see things change.
I think if it's not wearing on you, you're probably in the wrong business. It doesn't mean you don't get over losses and get ready to play the next day, but when losses start to stack up and you feel like you hit a groove and then you get punched right back in the face, I think that's tough. But we just got to keep moving forward, and we don't have a choice. So, but yeah, it's wearing on me. I know it's wearing on other guys, and in my opinion, it should be. We're not doing our jobs, so we got to get better. We got to keep working hard, and we're going to do that. And, like I said, we've got faith in this team. Like you said, we got faith in this team, so just got to keep pushing forward.
What are the conversations like when you are trying to get through it, like you're talking about?
I think you try to find the positives, right? This is the kind of game that would normally be a throwaway. Games happen, right? But when you stack it on top of yesterday and days before, I think that's when they really hurt. Whereas if you're playing above 500 baseball, a game like this happens, a game like yesterday happens, it doesn't hurt. But when you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, and we can pretend that we're not in a hole as much as we want, but we are. It's past Memorial Day now. We got to dig ourselves out, and I think we're capable of doing it. But we do, have to do it, and the goal is to win series. And obviously, we can't win this series anymore, but we can salvage one tomorrow, and that's what our full focus is on right now. Is getting after this team tomorrow.
Jack mentioned that you're one of the guys that he turns to during these tough stretches. How are you able to give that back to the team in these moments when you yourself are also struggling too?
I think it's one of those things where you just you have confidence in what you're doing, you believe in your abilities, but also that this, we talk about the game wearing on you. It's how you respond to that game wearing on you, and a lot of that is through leaning on your teammates and knowing that guys are going through things. I mean, it's a funny game, right? Like, you could be hitting 150, you're going to beg for hits. You could be hitting 400 and you're going to beg for hits. I hear it every day at first base when guys, like some of the top hitters in the leagues, are begging for hits out there. So it's one of those things where you lean on your teammates, you trust in your abilities, and you move forward from there. And you be an adult, you be a good teammate, and you try to go win a ball game. It's as simple as that. We all love this game. We obviously it's our job at this point, but we gotta go win some ball games. And as far as guys leaning on each other, I mean, that's the only way through this, is leaning on your teammates, having these tough conversations, talking about what'll help. I mean, essentially what's going to help us score more runs than the other team. It's as simple as that.
In recent years, you guys had a players-only meeting. Is that something that has been on the table, or is it just guys continue?
We have meetings every day. Those always get a little bit overblown, just because a lot of times it's during media time. So you guys get told, hey, there's a players-only meeting going on. We meet every day. We text every night. We're always talking about the game. I mean, if you just look over there's technically a players-only meeting happening at the table. And I don't mean to make light of your question. I understand that, but it happens all the time. There's no come to Jesus moment, so to speak, right? Today, I met a kid pregame. Kaiser, he lost both of his parents to cancer over the past year. That puts it in perspective, right? We talked about, this wears on you in a way, but when you keep it in perspective, you come to do your job, you try to win a game, you do your best, you go home. That's it. And that's what we're doing. We're doing everything we can to win these ball games. We're not winning them right now, but it doesn't mean we're going to stop giving it everything we got. We're not going to stop having these meetings. We're going to continue to come into every day with a good mindset, ready to kick somebody's ass. It might not look like it all the time, but that's the way this game goes, and we're gonna get right back on the horse tomorrow.
How hard is it as an offense when you're in a hole, like early on, like you were tonight, to just try to put anything together, or do you not look at it like that?
Yeah, it's tough. When you get down early like that, it kind of turns into a spring game a little bit of approach, kind of like the scouting report kind of goes out the window because guys will start, really trying to get ahead, things like that. And when things aren't going your way, it's tough. All you can do is put them on play and give yourself a shot. And we just got to keep doing more of that, and success will come. We just got to keep believing in each other and believing that this thing will turn, because if we stop believing, then we've got no shot. So we're going to keep believing and continue to give ourselves a shot every night.
So there's Vinny, and I mean, he's as much of a leader as you're going to find in the clubhouse. It's just, he continues to struggle as well. He's been better. Certainly he's been better. He's breaking out of what was a really awful, prolonged slump, so he's been better as of late.
Over the Mendoza line.
Yeah, he is now over the Mendoza line. That is great. He was...
at the Melendez line for a while.
He was hovering around that Melendez line for a while, but now over the Mendoza line. And... yeah, guys can lean on Vinny. They can meet. And he said, the players-only meeting, those things get overblown. He's like, we have a players-only meeting every day. He said, look over at the table. There's a players-only meeting right now. Well, if the guys are sitting there talking, it's not really a players-only meeting. What people really think about players-only meeting is like, hey, maybe we are better at the finer details. Maybe tonight we make sure every single at-bat pitch, if you're on base, that you're doing the things you're supposed to be doing, reading where the defense is, hustling, doing the things that are the little things that can maybe find a way to win a game because we need to do this. But like the saying goes, I mean, winners win and losers meet. So players only meeting, is that going to change anything for this team? I don't know. If they've already had those earlier this year, then it didn't change anything for this team. But as he said, like baseball, you feel like maybe you're turning the corner and then you get dealt a tough blow. They take the series against the Mariners. They win Saturday and Sunday. They get the home run from Salvi, the home run from Bobby on Monday. They're up 3-2 on the Yankees. You're going to take game one, break the losing streak against the Yankees, and then you don't get the job done. 2 runs are scored. Then you lose, and you feel like crap because it's like, well, I guess things aren't turning around. And then you show up the next day where Bailey Falter doesn't have it, and the game is over in kind of the first inning, but definitely the third inning when you're down 9-0. Ball game. It doesn't even matter at that point because you ain't scoring 9 runs, and even if you do, the Yankees probably aren't going to still be at 9 when you get there, and they weren't. They were at 15 when even if the Royals had gotten to 9 at some point in the game. So now how do you show up today? Because his point, I think, is a good one because I felt like, we'll talk with Monty about this, like, is this a game where you just say, you flush it, you move on? And one of the things that my opinion on it is, if you are playing good baseball and this happens, you flush it and move on. It sucks if you were a fan that was out there that night. You flush it, you move on, you come back the next day. But as Vinny said, when you've been struggling, when you've been losing, when you've been playing the way that they're playing, you can't just look at this game and go, let's flush it away, no big deal, show up the next day. It's not that way when you're playing this way. And that's the luxury you have when you're playing good baseball of going, well, that sucked. Let's get that one behind us and show up the next day. No, you blew a game on Monday, and then you showed up and got beat down and embarrassed on Tuesday. You don't just leave the ballpark and go, no big deal. Let's come back tomorrow and have fun, guys.
No, you shouldn't. And if you do, that would show you don't care. That's embarrassing. Last night was embarrassing.
They should institute a run rule in baseball. Like, you shouldn't have to throw a position player out there. If it's time to throw a position player out there, you just look at the umpires and go, we're done. We're going home. Sorry, everybody. We're down 15-1.
And I appreciate Vinny trying to be accountable and talking after the game and doing all of those things. And at some point, though, it does start to fall on deaf ears. And I actually didn't mind the question of the players only meeting. I get where he says it's a little overblown, but I think the question more or less alludes to, and again, I actually was fine with I get it. Yes, the players only meeting moniker can be overblown.
Yeah.
But the question really, to me, alludes to where is the accountability coming from? What is going to happen to change? You can't just say, yeah, things are going to change. We're going to keep going to work every single day and putting the effort. At some point, I think the question, in my opinion, alluded to, well, how is things going to change?
Right.
How is a players only meeting going to happen? Are you going to start saying, hey, man, you got to lay the butt down here. You got to come through here. You got to run through first base. Sorry.
Lane Thomas did.
Which, again, I actually have no issue with it because we've been wanting Garcia to do it.
Yes,
so
I know.
That's actually why I didn't have a big issue with Q saying that's just fresh because
I'm not gonna do it.
it's Lane Thomas and it's Q talking about hustle.
Yeah.
At some point, how are you going to hold people accountable? How? What are you going to do? Or is Bailey Falter going to be DFA'd?
I hope so.
When Garcia does not hustle through, are you going to pull him? Because we've seen managers pull guys better than him.
Yeah.
By the way,
Tatis got pulled.
Was it his cousin? Ronald Acuna Jr.
That's right. Yeah.
A couple times.
Yep.
I think twice.
Yeah, he got pulled.
And he's a much better player than Garcia.
Yeah.
But we can't pull Garcia for it.
Yeah.
But the Braves can pull Ronald Acuna Jr.? Like, at some point, where is the accountability? And again, it goes back to Q. I get that when things are going well and he's even keeled and never gets too high and never gets too low. When things go well, it's easy to talk about. But, dude, throw a chair. Get ejected.
Yeah.
Bleep up a water cooler.
Yeah, if you have to.
Like, show some sort of show us that you care. Because when the fans care more than the players, and if that's what it feels like, well, then you're in a bad spot, man.
Yeah, it's really, really rough. And it is not to make light of the kid that he was talking about, because that's rough, man. And it does put into perspective when you're talking about a baseball game and that kid's out there, and it sucks that the game happened the way that it did, because, before the game, he's out there, he meets Royals players, and you give the kid a night to where he just doesn't have to think about real world stuff, that he can go and enjoy himself at a game and meet his, heroes and being around there. And Vinny's right. It does put it into perspective with that thing. But it does feel a little like Vinny Pasquantino having a Rube Baker moment in Major League Two when the team was terrible. And he said, as, a joke in Major League, because it's a comedy of, I met a kid today who, hails from downtown, and he said the biggest patch of grass he has ever seen in his life is one we get to play on every day. Like, we're in the major leagues, and I've always wanted to be here, and I know somewhere along the lines you guys love to play the game too, because everybody's like frustrated and everything. It just feels like that, where it's so bad that there's a moment where you go, yeah, but guys, we need to look at the bigger picture here. Like, there are bigger things in life, and that is true. And it was awesome that kid got to be out there. It's a terrible situation and a tragedy of what that kid's going through, and that sucks. It's unfair is what it is. And it's awesome that he got to meet the players. And I do think there is some time for some perspective and some, levity in everything that's going on. But there also has to be the team then, okay, so if that's the bigger picture, then wash away you guys being mad about not getting a base hit, or it's wearing on you guys and it's starting to build and build and build. Okay, then maybe you go out there and go, man, I am so lucky to play this game. Let's just go out there and play baseball and not worry about a loss here, a loss there, and see what happens. Or maybe they're doing that. I'm not sure. But while it does offer perspective, the team is not playing to the level you would hope they would play to when the game actually starts, to go out there and enjoy them. Like Bobby talks about it after every game. Well, we just got to come out tomorrow and, we get to play this game and enjoy the game that we love and keep going and playing. And tomorrow is going to be a better day, and Q, or there's nothing else we can do except show up tomorrow and keep trying to break out of this. And yeah, I guess not. I mean, maybe there's nothing else you can do, but whatever you have been doing isn't working.
And for me, here's where, again, I know I'm slightly joking about throwing a chair, but like if you're Q or Bobby Witt Jr., and who knows what goes on behind the scenes, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe Q is just ripping into these dudes. Maybe Bobby, as quiet as he is absolutely ripping into guys.
Bobby seems like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed in you guys type of leader.
But yes, and here's where at some point you can use that to your advantage. Mm-hmm. The guys that are always hot and yelling and screaming, it grows old.
Yep, that's right.
The only way those guys get the attention is if they actually get quiet and do the I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yep.
Right? Like, that actually hurts worse. This is why I say, Q, I'm not saying throw a chair, but bleep it. Hit the water cooler. Get tossed out of a game when clearly, like when Cags was safe at first. And it gets overturned. I get it. It does nothing.
You're automatically ejected from the game at that point.
Then get ejected. Show that you have some fire in you. And Bobby a little bit the same way. And I'm not trying to, because Bobby's so good. Yeah. He's so damn good.
Yep.
Let's see what Q was saying right here.
Let's see. Roster move. The Royals have recalled from Omaha Mason Black and designated for assignment Bailey Falter.
Yeah, so no surprise there.
So what I said, before they put out a lineup, Bailey Falter should be DFA'd.
And he is. But again,
I don't know that he's. But you finish this point, and then I got another one after that.
Yep, go ahead. But the whole point is, when you are these guys, Q, you have an ability here to do something. You have the ability to say, you know what? I am that quiet, even kill guy. You know what's going to get people going and get fired up and maybe get some guys back on my side, maybe the fan base behind me? Let me go out and show that I have some fire in me, some spunk. Let me go out and try and bleep and hit a water cooler.
Maybe, yes. Bailey Falter DFA'd. And as I said, before you even put out a lineup, I'd be DFAing Bailey Falter. Is Bailey Falter DFA'd today if he doesn't make the comments post-game last night?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not so sure. The reason I say that is is there an obvious replacement like Mason Black they're calling up? Okay, that's fine. He's going to be the next, unnamed henchman in some random, movie that's going to be the antagonist or part of the antagonist role. And he's just next up in that particular role. Bailey Falter they traded for, they've given opportunities, and if he had just worn it post-game last night, it was like it wasn't good enough. I didn't have it, and I was trying, and I feel terrible for the team tonight because I put us in a bad spot, and I've got to be better, and every day I'm going to be working to try to figure out what's going on. And if tomorrow I'm out of the bullpen, I'll be out of the bullpen. The next day after that, I'm out of the bullpen, I'll be out of the bullpen. If they ask me to go out and start 5 days from now, then I'm going to be doing everything I can to make sure I figure out what is happening right now with my pitches because it's not good enough and I'm letting the team down. But I know I'm better than this. I know I can pitch better than this. And I'm going to do everything I can working with the coaches, watching video to try to figure this thing out because it's not good enough. And I know it's not. And I'm called on to do a job and I didn't do my job. Is it? Okay, well, maybe you're not the opener, but you can be our innings eater on the team moving forward and still collect a major league check while you're here. But when you go not really having a role, it's just kind of trying to roll with the punches and, another late minute start for me and extremely frustrated with what my role is or not even knowing what my role is here on the team. And all right, then get the hell out then. Then go away. Here's your role. You're DFA'd. You know what you don't know right now? You really don't know what your role is anyway, because now you don't even know what team you're on. You really don't have a role at this point. If they were teetering, last night's comments put them over the top. I would say this. If they were close to should we do it, should we not? This was an easy, all right, great. Cut bait, move on. The trade didn't work. Sisk looks good. Falter has not been good. We cut our losses. Sunk cost. Move on.
Yeah, I think if they were teetering, it'd push them over. I don't think they were teetering. I think after the first inning yesterday, they were done. He's had too many opportunities.
He has
with the Royals, and he's never shown a glimpse. It's never like he's had a couple of outings where you're like, you know what? Yeah, we've seen at least I'll even say with Alex Lang, which is kind of funny to say. At some point, we saw a couple of glimpses with Alex Lang that made you think, all right, yeah, the strikeout numbers are there. We've seen some filthy things from him at times. Okay. We've never seen anything with Bailey Falter that made you think, yeah, this guy could be a dude who goes out and gives us quality starts. A guy can go out and give you 7, and maybe every once in a while give up 2 or 3 runs. We never saw that. We never saw him be a consistent guy where you go, we see something from him.
Well, I mean, Mason Black is called up. You know what they see from Mason Black?
Bailey Falter?
6.5 ERA at AAA. 20 innings, 14 strikeouts, 10 walks. So my point is, and here's my point about the DFA. They didn't dig down to AAA and say, well, now it's time to bring up this guy who's on the cusp.
Yeah.
And we're going to move on from Bailey Falter. They moved on from Bailey Falter for a right-handed version of Bailey Falter.
Hey, 0 ERA in the majors.
That's a great point.
At least this year. He has, 4 innings pitched?
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, absolutely.
What does he have?
I do think there is an element, too, that the Royals needed a sacrificial lamb. Things are not going well. They haven't beat the Yankees since 2024.
Well, that sure as hell ain't going to be Zumwalt.
So you got to find somebody else. And Bailey Falter, when he goes out and gets shelled, is an easy decision. And now Royals fans can say, you know what? The Royals got rid of Falter, and it just shifts the blame on somebody else for another day.
It's a good call. The Zumwalt one still, you have one guy over league average. We went through the numbers in the first hour. One guy. It's Bobby Witt Jr. Only one guy who's been an above average league bat. Yeah. And at some point, hey man, hitting coach.
Yeah. I mean, at least Mason Black has, as you mentioned, he's made 4 outings this year for the Royals. He hasn't allowed an earned run yet. So, better than what we've seen from Bailey Falter. He has almost 5 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts at the big leagues, and 2 walks. So his time at the big leagues has been nowhere near what his time at AAA has been this year. But I do wonder if, Bailey Falter simply wears it on the chin last night and doesn't pass the blame and complain about his role.
Sure.
Because he's a lefty, they're bringing up a righty. So do they need a righty in the bullpen? Are they looking for a righty in the bullpen, or Mason Black is who we're bringing up? He's on the 40. We've had him up earlier this year. He's familiar with different things. We're not having somebody come up and make their major league debut. We're putting somebody in the bullpen that's going to be an innings eater. Righty, lefty, doesn't matter. Mason Black is essentially the choice of not Bailey Falter.
Correct. Again, to me, I think you have a very valid point of the comments. I think if they were teetering, I do believe, and maybe I'm wrong and naive here, I think after that first inning and then the second inning and then trying to go for the third, which, by the way, once you're down 4-0, just send him out there. If you were going to
eat innings,
if you're going to pull him, you should have pulled him after the first.
Or after the home run that led off the second.
I would have let him go for the second. The second was after the second inning. I go. Okay, then you're waving the white flag.
5-0, just let him go then.
I actually would have considered going to Avila after the first and said, hey, Bailey, you're done. There's no more. We're done.
Yeah.
But once they sent him back out, at that point, I actually was sitting here going, well, they might as well let him go 6. Let him just get shelled, and the game's over at this point either way.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would have been totally fine waking up today and saying, hey, they should DFA Bailey Falter. You've seen nothing from him. But after the comments last night, I don't think they had a choice.
Sure.
I don't think it was even close to a discussion at that point, even if maybe yesterday was a discussion. Once he said those, at that point, it was only a matter of notifying Mason Black to, or AAA, that he's going to be coming up here and get ready to take that trip down south to KC, get ready for New York. You may need to pitch tonight because Bailey Falter is now out of the organization. There is, I would say, a very slim chance that he would accept a AAA assignment with the Royals if they cannot trade him. I think, the DFA, trade him, whatever, and then once he's officially released, I don't think he will accept a AAA assignment with the Royals. I think he'll go with somebody else and sign a minor league deal, maybe back to Pittsburgh. So maybe that's the case. So there you go. There's the news. Not surprising. Bailey Falter DFA'd. Mason Black recalled from Omaha. We'll take a timeout, come back. We'll talk some Chiefs on the other side of the break. There's video of Patrick Mahomes, everybody. He's throwing footballs at OTAs. Yeah. George Karlaftis contract restructured. $9.7 million has been converted to a signing bonus, saving or freeing up $7.7 million, puts him around 13. They still have to sign a couple of their draft picks, so that's going to take a big portion of that. We'll talk about those things. And also I want to get into a player for the Chiefs that's, quote, off the radar right now, who could make an impact at some point this year that would be an unexpected impact. And the example I would give from last year during OTAs in May would have been, you know what, I'm going to go with Tyquan Thornton. Off the radar, guy that was, a practice squad player, signed a futures contract, is there. Boy, he was a second rounder. If you can tap in just to the deep speed, he might be a factor on this team, but nobody's going to expect it, and it would be a nice added bonus. It doesn't have to be somebody that's a practice squad player, but just off the radar right now that at this point it would be an unexpected impact on the season. We'll get into that as well. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you. Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy. We'll talk with Jeff Montgomery coming up at noon. 3.5 months, roughly. Or I guess it would be 3 months and 2 weeks. That'd be 3.5 months away from the Chiefs getting the season started. We are a couple of months away from training camp. Patrick Mahomes at OTAs yesterday. They put out the Chiefs. Put out video of Patrick Mahomes throwing a football. Mahomes, his IG story, put out a video of throwing a football, which is cool. So he's doing some work there at OTAs, and the expectation continues to be that he's going to play in week 1. We'll see how this whole thing progresses. You can tell that he's still hampered, but you know what? You still, again, 3.5 months away from playing the first football game of the season on September 13th. So you don't have, or September 14th, you don't have to be healthy right now, and you don't expect him to go out there and be running around. Had the had the sleeve on the leg, had the brace on the leg as well, and a couple of videos of him throwing a football there in OTAs. And so it's just a continual same story around Mahomes in that everything continues to lead up to the full expectation that he's going to play week 1. And if he doesn't at this point, it would be kind of a surprise. And I would say that it would be an upset. The leader in the clubhouse is that he plays week 1. And the more and more these videos are put out there, including Patrick Mahomes, with the continual IG stories of just the clock that's there. Again today, the IG story of the clock with him throwing the football at OTAs yesterday. The media will be able to be there and see some different things tomorrow at OTAs, but not there yesterday or today. So you have to get video from the organization to see what he's doing. Have no idea what else he did in the particular warm-ups. But it'd be very easy to have the surgery in December, Sterling, and be working off on the side and riding an exercise bike or doing some different stretches and stuff while other guys are taking snaps on the team, which would still keep the possibility open for you to start training camp on the PUP list so that you can have 90 players on your roster that Mahomes wouldn't count for one, but participating here in OTAs, it's going to count for it. So he's expected to maybe not be fully cleared for training camp, Sterling, but be participating to a larger degree than just randomly throwing the football off on the side at training camp to start.
Dude, we knew this was going to happen.
Right.
We tried to talk, I shouldn't say we. I tried to talk myself into saying, no, he's not going to do it. They won't let him go this hard. Let's not try and be too optimistic here. Let's try and take almost a pessimistic approach so that way you can be pleasantly surprised if it happens. Throw it out the window. Everything we've heard from Veach and it's just this perpetual, you know how he's attacking it, and they keep trying to not get ahead of their self. They're trying to almost do what I did, which is like, hey, if it happens, it happens, but but it's hard not to get excited. I get it. It's golf. I get it. It's him just throwing a football. I understand these things. But we know who he is. We know that when Petty Pat comes out, it's the best version of himself.
Yes.
It's hard.
I love Petty Pat.
It's hard not to get overly excited right now. From a guy who tried to be pessimistic to calm himself down, be still, my beating heart. My heart's beating fast. And it's for one number 15.
It's also important to mention that the video you saw, the quarterback in that video, is not good to go right now, but he's got 3 months to get ready for the season. Right. And the fact that he was able to participate at all, I look at Micah Parsons, suffered a very similar injury. I think it was both ACLs, and Micah Parsons is nowhere near playing football.
Yeah. A little different, though, because Micah, but you mentioned nowhere near playing football, but a little different because Micah Parsons is going to be expected to cut and plant and bend and put a lot of pressure on that knee, where Mahomes is expected to take a snap, either drop back, step up in the pocket, run a little bit, but he doesn't have to cut and push and have a 300-pound man pushing down on him while he's putting pressure on that knee to turn the corner. So it is a different position, certainly in different roles and expectation of force on the leg, but he's also not there at OTAs sort of just going through some workouts and feeling like he's getting closer to play. Neither is Malik Neighbors, who's still having some issues with his knee And all of it just sounds rough for Malik Neighbors. Like, this isn't a no matter what, you get the surgery, today's technology, today's, advancement in medicine, you're injured, you get the surgery, 9 months later you're back, you're playing. You never know what's going to happen along the way because there can be some setbacks along the way. And then you might have to go in for another surgery. You might have to do some other things. Jermod McCoy tore his ACL. That was in 2024? January of 24? Or January of 25, I should say? No, it was no, it wasn't January of 24. It was January of 25, so he missed all of last season with Tennessee. And then going into the workouts here and then being drafted by the Raiders in the 4th round, went from a guy that was top 10 to people worrying one injury away from not playing football again. That this thing is debilitating and chronic, and he's probably not going to get a second contract. And at any point along the way, if he gets injured again, that knee may just not be available for him to play football on as a cornerback. And that was like, oh, dang, he tore his ACL. Is he not going to be available for 2025 for Tennessee? That's too bad. Hood's going to have to step up and be an awesome cornerback, and he won't have his running mate on the other side for Tennessee. That hurts their defense. Maybe he'll return in 2026 and play for, Tennessee. It certainly wasn't viewed as, oh, that sucks for Jermod McCoy. He might lose $25 million in the draft and be one injury away from not playing football again.
Crazy.
And Malik Neighbors, when he went down, I didn't expect to be May of 2026 saying, okay, so he's not going to be ready for week 1, and this thing might be more serious than some people thought. When you hear John Harbaugh say, last Thursday that it's not a simple knee injury. Like, when did Neighbors have surgery on his knee? Because it was
got hurt in like week
it was the
4.
Chiefs game, right? Let's see.
I want to say it was the week after the Chiefs.
Was it?
October 28, 2025.
Okay. That's when he had surgery? So about 6 weeks ahead of Mahomes?
Performed by renowned specialist Dr. Daniel E. Cooper.
E. Cooper or Daniel E.
And then
Cooper?
It looks like spring of 2026, he had a minor arthroscopic cleanup to remove scar tissue.
Yeah. Scar tissue that I wish you'd saw.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid.
No, it was fun. You can't stop making bad jokes.
Right. I know. I'm a dad.
We should post Under the Bridge.
Yes. But also the point, like, I'm looking back, just sounds like you are making light of it, but comparatively speaking to Mahomes, this was just an ACL tear, right? It wasn't a Tyreek Hill where you're talking about it dislocating your knee and multiple, ligaments and other things that are, potential damage in that knee, where Mahomes has an LCL and an ACL, and it's like, well, this is a little more difficult because of that added ligament there. It's not just your regular ACL. And then you hear, well, it's an ACL and a surgery, but this isn't a simple knee injury from Harbaugh. Like, I don't know, does he have a complicated ACL? So when we look at Mahomes, there are alternate versions of other players that have had a knee surgery and they aren't progressing the way that Mahomes' knee is. Different positions, but again, we're not talking about, hey, Malik Neighbors is jogging and running routes. Not cutting hard, but jogging, running routes out at OTAs. Hey, you know what? Micah Parsons is going through some walkthroughs and some light calisthenics, and you see the brace and the sleeve on his knee, but he's going through some of those things. It's not even that with either of those guys. So we can dismiss it and go, well, he's a quarterback. He's not a wide receiver or an edge rusher / all-around playmaker like Micah Parsons. But those guys also aren't doing anything right now and may be expected to miss the first part of the season because are they even going to be ready for training camp? And now you're having additional stuff. Like if Mahomes has to go back in and it's an additional procedure, that would suck. That would be okay. There's an issue going on.
But that's why you have Justin Fields. That's why you bring in a veteran.
You mean Garrett Nussmeier.
Or draft Garrett Nussmeier. But that's why. It's the just in case. Again, it's why I've tried to temper, because I get excited.
Temper? Temper.
But again, it's always, you never know if something else will pop up. If you need the cleanup surgery, if there is scar tissue, you never completely know.
Yep.
And so it's why I love the Justin Fields move. It's why I really like the Garrett Nussmeier draft pick. I give yourself options just in case.
Yeah. So I guess it was a partially torn lateral meniscus for Malik Neighbors. So a torn ACL and a partially torn lateral meniscus. There you go. But yeah, Patrick Mahomes, OTAs, working out, participating, and doing some things there, as Andy Reid said, that probably not going to keep him away from participating in some of these OTAs. We'll hear from players coming up on Thursday, at least Andy Reid, and potentially different players. Maybe it'll be Patrick Mahomes. We'll find out. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll continue rolling, wrap up this hour. Jeff Montgomery will join us coming up at noon. We'll get into which players the Chiefs may have that are maybe in your mind under the radar, that have a potential to make an impact this year. The example I gave was May 27th of 2025. A guy like Tyquan Thornton would have been off the radar, but yet ended up having an impact for the Chiefs. So we'll talk about maybe some potential players that fit that mold. On the other side of the break, George Karlaftis restructuring his contract. Does that give them the flexibility to go and sign somebody, or just to keep the lights on? So George Karlaftis does restructure his contract. $9.7 million of salary is then converted to a signing bonus, which frees up $7.7 million for the Chiefs. They're about $13.3 million. It'll be roughly, now you can manage the cap in different ways, but to get into the top 51 for Mansour Delane and Peter Woods, it's going to be roughly $11 million cap hit is what you would be looking at right now. Now, you can structure that thing different ways, I guess, but you're looking at roughly $11 million cap hit. They're 13 and change under the cap right now. So while they've moved some things around, they can go and make some moves. Now, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, I think this is just you keep the lights on. They restructured Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, and we're talking different. Monty next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy heading up until 2 o'clock. Let's talk some Royals baseball. Jeff Montgomery joining us here in the zone on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Monty, how are you?
Well, Jason, I was afraid you were going to ask me that. It's amazing how every week we're kind of just searching for ways for this team to get things going, and unfortunately last night was, I guess I'll just say, embarrassing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, and Q said, you're sitting in the dugout. Nobody wants to be there, but you got to sit there and play through it. With everybody getting a hit and 24 hits by the Yankees, and everybody in the lineup had multiple hits. Is that a game that you can easily just flush and say, who cares? We're leaving the ballpark. It was embarrassing. We come back tomorrow. It's a brand new day, and this was just a bad night at the ballpark.
I honestly would say probably they left the ballpark last night feeling, honestly, a little better than they did on Monday when they lost that heartbreaking game in the ninth inning. I mean, it was, when you have a lead going into the ninth, you feel like you should win a baseball game. Last night there was really, after that first inning, there wasn't really much hope in winning that baseball game. So I think everybody kind of put that one to bed early. And I think last night would be a really good example of what Major League Baseball could do to change the rules so you don't have to live through 3 hours of punishment like that. I know, the numbers and the rules and the records and everything, they want some integrity there, but how much integrity was there with regards to a 15-1 blowout and, 24 hits in a game for the Yankees? It's just such a lopsided game. I don't think really even the fans wanted to be there, and in fact it was Pasquatch night or whatever it was. So it was just a really rough night. Yeah.
Would you like to see them implement like a run rule or something like that in Major League Baseball?
I would like to see it to where the team that's losing could have the ability to just say, we're out of pitching, kind of like they do in spring training. Just say, we're content with this thing being where it is. We're down 15 runs or 14 runs going into the ninth inning. Now, we know that there's, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but there's not much chance that it's going to change the outcome of the game. So, I don't know. You don't have many games like this, but sure enough, last night was one that is a good example of one that wasn't a whole lot of fun. Yeah,
didn't think you were bringing up Tolbert to pitch out of the bullpen, but that's what's happened a couple of times in his career already. Jeff Montgomery is our guest. So they had a bullpen game yesterday, and after the game was over, we heard Bailey Falter weigh in on, as he said, not having a role and trying to just roll with the punches. He's been in the bullpen, expecting to pitch each night, and then he sort of said, last minute, now I'm the starter. I guess I'll just start. What did you make of Bailey Falter's comments after the game in talking about his role on the team?
Well, I haven't heard exactly the comments. We were doing the post-game show on television, and we unfortunately had some issues with our audio on our end of things, so didn't get to hear them specifically, but I kind of get a gist of what you're saying. And I felt like yesterday, Mac Machero, when he addressed the media, basically said that, giving Bailey, time to prepare and get this thing, get ready for the game, it sounded to me like there was ample time. I don't know the specifics on when he was told, but all along I've had the understanding that Bailey wanted to be a starting pitcher, and given that opportunity, certainly was what he was given yesterday. Even though it was a bullpen game, so to speak, I think ideally Bailey would have gone out and thrown at least 3, maybe even as many as 5 innings, depending on the pitch count and where he was. But obviously that didn't work out the way that anyone wanted it to.
Yeah, I had looked at the probable pitchers a couple of days ago, and it had I can't remember if it was Falter that was listed there, but it's sort of been this expectation that going into this game, is there a chance that maybe he said, that he meant sort of last minute that maybe it was Avila that might have started, or they were still deciding the bullpen game who was actually going to take the mound first?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, not having any visibility on that. It's hard for me to, give any comment on that. Yeah. But I know, when you're a player, I don't care if you're a third baseman, sometimes playing first, or a catcher, sometimes DHing, a pitcher, sometimes starting, sometimes relieving. Understanding your role and knowing your role, certainly that helps you prepare and get ready for whatever your opportunity is going to be. But again, I don't know the specifics with relationship, to how it came out yesterday with Bailey and all that. But you just, regardless, you're paid to go out and do a job and to do it well. And if you don't do it well, then you're going to have a lot of criticism.
Jeff Montgomery is our guest. Not saying this has ever happened to you, Monty, but what would you do in a scenario where you get to the mound and in your mind you're like, I don't have it tonight. This is I don't feel it. The stuff isn't working. I just don't have it, because that feels like maybe, or seems like maybe, that might be one of the loneliest feelings that somebody could feel on a baseball field.
Well, there are times when you're out there and you know that you have to get some innings. You know you have to get some outs because, one, you're the last man standing, or two, it's in a situation where there's really no one else that you would like to go to as far as depleting the bullpen and using all the arms up. And it happens to everybody. I mean, even the best pitchers in the game I've seen be out there, and just one of those nights when you don't have it. You have to find a way to navigate through it. And oftentimes it's not just necessarily the fact that maybe your stuff is not great that night. There are times when you have to just tip your hat to the offense and just look at what they did last night. I think we talked so many times about how streaks and slumps are contagious. You get things going in the right direction. You get a team that's swinging the bat well, and then suddenly it's contagious, and everyone does it. We saw everyone in the lineup last night for the Yankees have at least 2 hits. That was an example of it being pretty contagious on the positive side. But we've also seen it happen on the negative side, where teams go into a funk offensively, and it just seems like it's contagious, and everybody gets it, and everybody has to work through it. And unfortunately, this year was too many times about that situation with the Royals offense trying to get things going. But they've shown signs at different times of being able to get it going. So. Over 100 games left. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah,
visiting with Jeff Montgomery, our guest. The Royals, and this is something that you can speak to because you've had so much experience closing out games. The Royals this year have the second worst winning percentage in baseball when leading after 8 innings, which is, the opposite of what happened last year. I mean, we saw the stat earlier this year of how many games that they won last year when leading after 8 innings, and it hasn't necessarily been the case this year. We know those last 3 outs are more difficult, and on what's today, Wednesday. So on Monday night, when they lose the game and the 2 runs are scored there in the 9th inning on Lucas Erceg, it's a little popper to a shortstop that checks up in the grass, a grounder back up the middle that's pretty slow, and it's just placed perfectly where there's nothing you can do about it, or not up the middle, but down the third base line that rolls and stays fair, and you're like, scratching your head, and the position that you and others like you that are in the 9th inning, luck happens, bad luck, good luck, but it's always heightened because you don't have many opportunities to come back in the game, as opposed to if that's the 2nd inning and you get a little infield single and another little swinging bunt down the third base line, you sort of laugh it off and move on. Hard to do that in the 9th inning when you give up 2 runs because you only got 1 more shot.
Yeah, it is, and that's why sometimes the magnification on the failure is much more significant when it happens to the guy who's supposed to be shaking hands when he throws the last pitch and gets the last out of the game. But it's unfortunate the way that thing worked out after the comeback and the Bobby home run, and you think, hey, we got this game. It's going to be a really nice way to kick off a series against the Yankees, who would at that time lost 10 in a row against. Those are just tough losses, and I think those are what I'll call setback losses. They don't cost you just 1 game. Usually there's a little hangover effect from those type of losses, and certainly we saw that last night with the way game played out last night. So, it's a tough situation to be in, but you're right, it's sometimes the one that's most magnified.
Let's talk about some good stuff here. On Saturday, Stephen Kolek went to the mound, and he is pitching for an opportunity to stay with the big leagues, and he has done nothing but go out and impress this year. Just a couple of innings that he's given up a run. He gave up 5 runs in the 5th inning against the White Sox, and he gave up the 3-run home run against, I believe it was the Guardians, in another game. But 26 innings for Stephen Kolek this year. He has only given up a run in 2 of those, and those are the innings that I've talked about. And a complete game shutout, the first one since September of 2020. What did you see from Stephen Kolek on Saturday for him to be that successful and to keep the Mariners' bats, at bay and be able to go 9 innings?
Well, to me, he's really kind of a throwback type pitcher. He's a pitcher that goes out, he pitches to contact, he doesn't try to miss bats, he trusts his stuff, he's filling up the strike zone. He's really kind of doing all of the things that I know I was taught to do as a pitcher, years and years ago. And as a result of that, you have the efficiency to pitch 9 innings. It's not a situation where you're going to go as hard as you possibly can, throw the ball with max effort for 5 innings, maybe 6 innings, and then you're out of the ball game. But you're missing bats, you're getting strikeouts, and his first strikeout didn't come until the 8th inning. So it was evident that he wasn't trying to miss bats. He was trying to, let the hitters get themselves out, and that's just something that you have to learn to do. It's a process, but the style of pitching in today's game is so opposite of that. I mean, everybody wants to miss bats. Everybody wants max effort every pitch, and a couple things. One, I think it leads to unhealthy and injuries as far as the arms are concerned for pitchers, and 2, it doesn't allow you to go out and pitch more than 5, maybe 6 innings at a time because of the effort that you're giving. But Kolek, he's just he's a throwback to the, to the, say, 80s or 90s when guys were taught to, pitch to contact. And I'll give you a good example of what I saw with a teammate of mine, one of the best pitchers in the Royals history, Kevin Appier. Kevin Appier, when he came up, he was a guy that, he would have 100 pitches through 4 1/3 innings, but he was trying to miss about every pitch he threw. And later, after working and understanding that, hey, pitching to contact can be a good thing, he suddenly is a guy that's out there in the 8th and 9th inning almost every time because he would try to get early count outs, and eventually it allowed him to become that pitcher that was just a force to be reckoned with on the mound because he can get you out early in a count, and if he needs to strike out, if he needs to go into a situation where he's got to miss a bat, he has that left in the tank in order to do so. So Kolek, again, I love the way he handles himself. He's got tremendous mound presence. You wouldn't know if he's throwing a shutout or if he just gave up a 3-run home run. He just has that composure on the mound that you really like to see, especially from a younger player that hasn't been out there all that many times. I think that was his 9th game as a Royal, so doesn't have a long resume of history with this team, but has shown it through the way he handles himself.
This is probably different for every single pitcher when you've got a guy like, the exact opposite sort of spectrum of a Cole Reagans versus a Stephen Kolek. But where's the balance of pitching to contact, allowing the batter to get himself out versus getting swings and misses? Because the most likely out is one that's not put in play. Even though the ball's put in play, it might be, soft contact, but we, see on Monday night that Urseg got a couple of balls put in play and it was unlucky. So that balance that's there of, look, I want this guy to get himself out, but also, the swing and miss still has an important role as a pitcher.
Yeah, we always hear about situational hitting, Jason. I think one thing that kind of oftentimes is overlooked is situational pitching. And I think you pitch to the situation. If it's first batter of the inning, nobody on base, then that's when you pitch contact. That's when you look for that 1 pitch, 1 out, or 2 pitches, 1 out. And conserve pitches by allowing the hitters to hit the baseball. You've got 8 guys in the field playing behind you there that can help you get an out. And then when you have a situation, say maybe 2nd and 3rd and 1 out, that's when you have to miss bats. That's when you have to pitch this situation that says, now I need that strikeout. I need to find a way to miss a bat or to make a really high-quality pitch to keep the ball in the infield. So I think the situational pitching oftentimes is way overlooked compared to the way that we talk about situational hitting.
It's interesting. Jeff Montgomery is our guest here in the Zone on this Wednesday edition. I wanted to get your thoughts then before we let you go on a guy who's going tonight in Noah Cameron. back-to-back quality starts for Noah Cameron, and against the Mariners, 6 innings, he gave up only 4 hits, a couple of walks, and 8 strikeouts. You feel like maybe he's turned the corner in what we've seen so far from Noah Cameron this year?
Yeah, the last couple outings are very positive as far as what he's been able to do, turn things around. I think he had made some tweaks and adjustments maybe earlier in the year that, to me, whether he needed to or it's just something that happened, don't need to know that it was necessary based on what we saw from him last year. But we're seeing a lot more Noah Cameron of what we saw last year than what we saw earlier this season. So it's good to see from him. I know he had some low back issues. I don't know if that had anything to do with his performance earlier on, but he did miss that one start as a result of it. But what I really liked in his game against the Mariners, the way he used that curveball. I mean, he's got the outstanding changeup, which is a go-to pitch for him. He can use that fastball up in the strike zone, but his curveball, he had a lot of really effective and very well-executed curveballs in that game against the Mariners, and got the career high-tying 8 strikeouts, and 5 of those 8 strikeouts were on curveballs. So I thought that was a really positive sign for Noah Cameron with regards to his quality of pitches and his ability to execute those pitches.
Is there a way the Royals could lobby the league to play the Mariners more often? I feel like
it's amazing. And the Mariners are a team that going into the season, think about it, they were one game away from winning the American League pennant last year. Yeah. So kind of crazy that that they have had kind of a slow start, but they've been riddled with injuries as well. I mean, you look at what teams have had to deal with injury-wise. If you catch them at the right time, when they're down, they're missing some key bats. It's amazing what that'll do. And obviously last year, Cal Raleigh hit 60 home runs. He's not been that same player this year. Now he's injured. So I think you're catching a team like the Mariners at the right time. You got a lot better chance, obviously.
By the way, before we let you go, I was thinking about this as last night with the Brewers and the Cardinals. Any chance you saw Abner Uribe after getting the last out in the 8th inning with the strikeout and his excited reaction to the Cardinals bench?
I have not had a chance to see that one yet.
Okay, so Abner Uribe gets the 3rd strike. It's looking, and he turns to the Cardinals bench, and if you can imagine the wrestling sort of X chop to your waist while you're doing a hip thrust. He did that 3 straight times to the Cardinals dugout, and walks off the mound. Now you hear the Brewers come out and apologize. Uribe comes out and apologizes and said it was unacceptable, but just got caught in the moment there. Last time, walking off the mound, you did a hip chop thrust at the other dugout.
I don't know if I ever did that. I think that's something that there would probably be some repercussions as a result of.
I think that might be something that ends up happening tonight. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen pitchers, get excited and scream or flex, but I've never seen that, and specifically to the other dugout. Like the best part, though,
up a little bit.
Yeah, the best part, Monty, is it was actually a challenge pitch too. So he's doing that while the batter asked to challenge. And it was a strike by like less than 0.1 of an inch. It was so close to being a ball. And I just wish that thing would have been just outside the strike zone to see what the reaction would have been if the challenge ended up being a ball.
Hey man, had to do the reverse shuffle on that one.
Then he has to do it at the ABS system for making that thing a ball. Jeff Montgomery, our guest. Jeff, hopefully there's a more enjoyable game tonight, and the Royals can break this streak against the Yankees finally and get back on the winning track. Thank you for the time, as always.
All right, Jason. Have a great day.
You do the same. There is Jeff Montgomery joining us here in the Zone. Royals tonight, Noah Cameron on the mound, taking on Garrett Cole, and let's hope the Royals can find a way to break the losing streak to the Yankees. That one's very annoying. And last night was embarrassing. No getting around that. And it would have been nice to be out there and get the bobblehead, the Pasquatch bobblehead. That's cool. I don't know. Is it worth the torture of hanging around there and watching that early on, being down 9-0 and then 9-1? Bobby got the home run. That was nice. To get the bobblehead, I think I'm jetting at that point. I'm like, all right, well, we got the bobblehead. Peace out. Saw Bobby hit a home run. let's go home. The Royals would have liked to go home early in that game last night, but you don't get to do that. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling. Mick Schaefer will join us in the 1 o'clock hour. More Zone coming up next. We'll talk with Mick Schaefer coming up at 1 o'clock. Thank you to Jeff Montgomery joining us, breaking down some Kansas City Royals baseball and the breakdown that is this entire season so far and their continual losing streak to the New York Yankees, which is frustrating, annoying, whatever you want to go with to describe that. But yes, Stephen Kolek is one of the bright spots of the season.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Abner Uribe has a nice little hip thrust chop to the waist area.
Yeah, and that just made me, when you said the New York Yankees, the way you said Yankees made me think of Tommy Boy.
Yeah, I bet he plays for the Yankees. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Now that's all I can think about is Tommy Boy.
That's a pretty girl down there. I wonder if she dates one of the Yankees.
Darcy? Okay, good job. Okay. Good job. Do you know Tommy Boy or?
I know the movie. I have not seen it, though.
Who's your favorite little rascal? Is it Alfalfa or is it Spanky? Sinner. Thank you to Jeff Montgomery. Bailey Falter has been DFA'd. The Royals have made the move, the transaction. They've called up Mason Black, and Bailey Falter DFA'd, and now he's really frustrated by not having a role.
Holy shnikes.
Holy shnikes. Now he's just going to keep rolling with the punches wherever he's going to roll to, because it ain't going to be rolling to the mound at Kauffman Stadium wearing a Royals uniform anytime soon, as he is DFA'd by the Royals. Mason Black is recalled. Mason Black has had 4 outings with the Royals so far this year, or 4 2/3 so far this year. 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. Hasn't allowed an earned run yet in his relief appearances. Struggled in AAA with a 6.5 ERA this year with 20 innings and 15 strikeouts and 10 walks, but that hasn't been the case at the big leagues so far. So Bailey Falter out and Mason Black in. We played the clips from the Royals earlier today. Bailey Falter's comments, which I think were probably the last straw. The Royals may have already been thinking about DFAing him. Maybe they already made the decision. But if they were teetering, his comments last night certainly pushed them over the edge to go ahead and make that decision. We heard from Quattrero. We heard from Vinny Pasquantino post-game, and we'll see what the Royals do tonight as they get ready for Garrett Cole, at least. You know, they get a little bit of a break with Garrett Cole from seeing Cam Schlittler and Will Warren.
It's getting kind of hard to believe things are going to get better.
Noah Cameron back-to-back quality starts, so hopefully he can go out there and continue that trend. It'll be tougher against the New York Yankees. So we talked in the previous hour leading up to the conversation with Jeff Montgomery. I wanted to go through if we have a couple of players or names in mind that are right now would be considered off the radar as they're going through OTAs, and we don't even know. There's probably going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4 players on the roster. Who knows? In the initial 53-man roster that maybe aren't out there right now at OTAs and playing. You know, could be Juju, could be another wide receiver. Rashee Rice, because he's not out there right now.
I nailed CRW a couple years ago.
There you go. Yep.
That was one that
was good. But at this time right now on May 27th, as we go through OTAs before the mandatory minicamp and then the break and then on to training camp, if there is a player that currently on the roster that maybe is off the radar that potentially could make an impact this year, an unexpected impact this year. So a lot of caveats there, a lot of qualifiers, obviously, to that. The example I gave was last year at this time, if you would have said Tyquan Thornton, that would have been somebody that you'd have been right about. Off the radar, an impact would be unexpected, but he did make an impact last year on the team. Signed a futures contract going through OTAs, but they've got Worthy, Rice returning from the ACL, Hollywood's back, everybody got to eat. Didn't really have a need for Tyquan. Nice depth, though. Drafted Jalen Royals. Excitement about that. He would have been one that would fit the criteria, but it would have been tough to dial in and say, I think it's Tyquan Thornton because of what we thought about the receiver room last year at this time.
I have 3 guys going from more obvious to least obvious.
I came up with 2.
So, but like, for example, my number 1 is Cooper McDonald.
Okay.
Like, we all know he's on the team.
Yep.
But I think I'm higher on him than most, and so for that reason, I'm going to allow myself to put him in this category. I think he's going to get Leo Chanel-esque amount of snaps this upcoming season.
He was my number 2. I like that pick a lot.
Yeah, I just think that he is going to maybe not 50% of snaps, but like 35% plus.
Yeah.
Like I think Cooper McDonald's going to play a fairly large role on this team.
So who's your number 1, Michael?
My number 1 was Jaden Hicks.
Oh, that was my number 1.
And I think the rationale behind that is very interesting rookie season. Got a lot of run. And then his sophomore season, whether he was just not picking it up or the coaching staff failed to give him the playing time, we didn't really see a lot of Jaden Hicks. And they didn't really do a lot to upgrade that safety room. I'm not shading Alohi Gilman, but Alohi Gilman is not somebody that you can't not play Jaden Hicks if he ends up being a bounce-back player. I think he is the candidate that will get more run because they don't have Brian Cook anymore. He's been in the system longer. He's going to get more playing time than he did last year.
Yeah, so that was mine as well, because when we talk about the defense and we talk about the secondary, we don't really mention Jaden Hicks that much because we talk about the cornerbacks, and then with Kader Kohu and Kennedy, we talk about what it may do for Shamari Connor to move out of the slot role and to play more safety, what he had done a couple of years ago when he looked pretty good. And so does that mean then you got Alohi Gilman and Shamari Connor? So I went with Jaden Hicks because of what Michael said. His rookie year was pretty interesting. You saw some flashes, you saw some glimpses, but I wonder how much the Chiefs' rookie year didn't want to put on his plate. They had Justin Reed as well, had Shamari Connor, had Brian Cook. So Jaden Hicks maybe had a very specific role that he was there to perform. And with that very specific role, he could go out there and do that one or two different things, those things that are out there that he's asked to do. And not be the Justin Reed, Alohi Gilman, Brian Cook, maybe even Shamari Connor, safety in the box, slot corner, moving around, doing a lot of different things. Whereas last year, without Justin Reed, I think the expectation was that Jaden Hicks would then have more on his plate. And I think the Chiefs tried that.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they found out that that wasn't doable last year. So the role they expected him to play did not result in the role that he played because he wasn't performing and doing the things that they thought his sophomore season would do. Whatever the reason that is. But I wonder, is there a chance this year that after a full off season, a full season of going through that, maybe a better understanding of those things, or maybe the Chiefs a better understanding of this is specifically how we are going to deploy Jaden Hicks?
Yes.
We're going to use him maybe in a way that rookie year Shamari Connor was used. But this ain't rookie year Jaden Hicks. This is going into year 3 Jaden Hicks. Already, we're talking about year 3 Jaden Hicks. He needs to step up because they don't have the depth at safety. So I do think he will be relied upon to go and make a certain impact on the team. And I think if he can tap into more, or Spags and Dave Merritt can tap into more of what they were doing rookie year with Jaden Hicks, and maybe what they missed last year that they thought he could do, that they found out he can't do, has he improved on that? Or do they just say, that's out the window, here's the specific role that we're going to get from this man that's going to be on the 53-man roster, and he's going to perfect that role, and we're going to use him to do this, while Connor and Alohi Gilman and whoever else, Christian Roland Wallace, if they move him back to safety outside of the slot, if they feel like Kader Kohu or a guy like that, or Kennedy can play the slot, then you've got Christian Roland Wallace, and you've got Alohi Gilman and Shamari Connor, and you've got Jaden Hicks. Then maybe Hicks goes back to being a very specific, maybe limited role. Hopefully that's not the case, because we had high hopes for what Jaden Hicks could be, especially coming into a sophomore year. It didn't result in that. They didn't play him, and Spags felt like he had regressed for whatever reason. And I think if you look more rookie year, maybe you take things off his plate and say, this is the role you're going to play, and just go perfect that and go out there and be that guy closer to what you were your rookie year. And this is who you're going to be as a player. Special teamer and a very specific role. You're not going to be Reed or Gilman or Cook or Connor that does many different things and a jack of all trades. This is your role. Go perfect it, and we'll find playing time for you to do that, as opposed to, we want you to do all these things and step into this role, and you're not doing it, so you can't play.
And Chiefs fans reference contract year Brian Cook, but they seemingly forget the process and how many years it took to be the final product. There were a couple years where Brian Cook was not the guy that he was last year.
Yeah. And it was also viewed as like, okay, is he still recovering from that ankle injury? Does he look at him rookie year, what he looked like, and then the ankle injury happened, so he's slowly having to recover. And then he was forced into the role, and what did Spags say, or Brian Cook said? One of them said that it was communicated to Brian Cook, just go play more instinctual. Don't play robotic. I know what the play call is and what you are supposed to do. This is your 4th year in the NFL. If you see something, react to it. Be instinctual. And he was flying around the field making tackles, and he was in on more plays than I ever remember him being in on the previous 2 years. And so I don't know, maybe that's Jaden Hicks this year. Just go play instinctual football, man. Just go play football. Get out there, go play football.
I think we've seen a lot of safeties look good their rookie season, regress, or look not as good their second and third, and then their fourth year look great.
So Shamari Connor, contract year, fourth year
I think
is going
so,
to be amazing.
because his rookie year was his best year. Juan Thornhill's best year was his rookie year, and then his final year before he got paid.
Yeah.
Brian Cook, his best year was his rookie year, and then his final year before he got paid. Jaden Hicks so far,
This is year 3, though.
I know, so maybe he's one more growing pain.
Dang it,
because
next year at this time, my pick's going to be Jaden Hicks
because
again.
right now, Jaden Hicks, his best years is. I mean, I don't know what the trend is. I don't know if it's because year one they have specific roles, and so it's lesser than, and so they can just say, hey, focus on this one thing. Then year 2 and 3, they go, here's more on your plate. Let's see if you can handle it. And they can't. And then year 4, they go, all right, go back to what you were doing. And then it works again, the instinctual, if you will. So I don't know, but there is at least a slight trend there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, some injuries for some of those guys. Juan Thornhill had his. We mentioned Brian Cook.
Yeah.
I just find it at least some sort of minor trend
That
to
is
follow
interesting.
along with. Especially if Chamari looks really good this year, then it really would be the 1 and 4. That would be the actual trend. My most maybe off the beaten path player, again, a couple years ago, that guy for me was Christian Roland Wallace. I think for me this year, and maybe it's not a surprise to some, Kyer Elam. I think Kyer Elam makes a team.
Interesting.
I think he has a chance of potentially jumping over Christian Fulton. And I like Fulton.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs have had really good success with former first-round draft picks and the defense, and not edge, not Taco Charlton, but like the Mike Hugheses of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, by the way, Mike Hughes is still performing with Atlanta. Like, the Chiefs revitalized his career.
Yeah. That is crazy.
And I think the Chiefs have a chance to do it with Kyer Elam. There's a reason why he was a first-round draft pick. Now, not all first-rounders, right, will turn into something. We've seen time and time again guys flame out. But Kyer Elam now has a chance to where that sort of, and maybe it hurts coming to KC because you're still somewhat in the shadows of Trent McDuffie. But now is his chance to be his own guy. Like when he went to Buffalo, the comps were him and Trent nonstop because of where they were drafted. Well, McDuffie was incredible, all pro.
Yeah.
And I think that...
Not Pro Bowl, though.
But I think that really does put a lot of pressure on guys of, now I have to make extra plays, I have to do more. No, just be you. Kyer Elam was okay last year. He wasn't necessarily, in my opinion, unplayable. He just wasn't good. But we saw at least a little growth from Elam. Can that continue with what I think we all believe to be the best secondary coaching in the NFL with Dave Merritt and Spagnuolo? If you can't do it here, sorry, you're probably not doing it anywhere. But why not take the traits, the tools, the former first rounder, and see if you can get another Mike Hughes situation rolling? I think Kyer Elam could be that guy for me.
It's interesting. That is really off the beaten path because I'm wondering, at this point, I'm wondering if Kyer Elam is even on the team, if he makes the team. But it's a good point if there's one specific role because you're replacing Joshua Williams, replacing Jalen Watson. Najee Johnson signed. I can't remember where he signed with. It came out like last week that he signed somewhere. So all of those guys that were part of that 2022 class that were together, and it was like sort of interchangeable with Williams and Najee, and then for a time Jalen Watson. Then Watson separated himself from the pack. That somebody's going to have to fill the role of a Joshua Williams, of a Najee Johnson that's going to be on the team. Is that going to be Kevin Knowles? Is it going to be, Kyer Elam? Does Kader Kohu make the team as well? And then you got Kennedy along with Noel Williams and Christian Fulton and Mansour Delane. You've got the different options, or is it Kyer Elam that steps up because he's a veteran and been around and done it?
What was the contract for Kader Kohu? Because that's a good point.
I think it's just like a 1-year deal. Like
it was a 1 year.
Yeah, it's a 1 year one. Yeah, so
right,
because the thought
they don't. He doesn't. It's not. I don't think it's a contract where he's on the team.
I would agree.
He doesn't make it. He doesn't make it.
The locks are Noel, Chamari, Alohi Gilman, Mansour Delane. I think Christian Fulton's in the lock category, and Jadon Kennedy. So that's 7. Do they keep 9? Maybe 10, but probably 9 defensive backs.
I'd have to go back and look at what the trends were.
Because
over
then
the years.
That leaves, let's just say it's, and then I guess, did I say Hicks? I think I said Hicks already in there.
I don't know if you did. So I'd put Hicks in that
1, 2, 3,
category.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so Hicks is in there. So that's 8. That's 8. So do they keep 9 or 10? Because Kader Kohu, Kyer Elam, Christian Roland Wallace, and I'll throw Kevin Knowles in that situation. I think he would be maybe more of the because Kennedy, I think, is for sure a special teamer.
Yeah.
Kader Kohu.
Kennedy is initially going to be a special teamer.
But I also
I'm in agreement. And then hopefully he can grow into being a slot corner and they can release some things. So last year they kept 9 defensive backs.
So 9. I do wonder if you keep both Kennedy and Kohu. Because
get rid of Kohu. You're not cutting Kennedy.
No, agreed.
You
that's,
get rid of Kohu
and because of contract. Because I do think to an extent there's a little overlap there.
Mm-hmm.
I think Christian Roland Wallace has grown a little bit to where if he can play safety, that helps you out as far as some of the versatility in there. But they don't really have a lot of outside corners, and that's why I think Kyer Elam really fits in here. Because if we're talking strictly outside corners, you have Noel Williams, Monster Delane, Christian Fulton. Those are your only 3 outside. I mean, seriously, you have 3 outside corners.
And Fulton was a healthy scratch last year.
So was no. I mean,
season.
At the beginning of the season. Well, he did battle injuries at the beginning of the season, but towards the end of the year, it's like he still wasn't even playing. Noel Williams wasn't a healthy scratch, but still wasn't playing until it came down to like, guys are injured, they're not out there, somebody's got to play, and then of course they got their opportunity.
So for me, I wish I could bet on it and say, hey, who makes the team?
They kept 10 in 2024.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's between 9 and 10. Because again, it's just Noel Williams, Monster Delane, and Christian Fulton as your outside corners right now.
Yeah.
Because Kohu, slot only. Kennedy, slot only. Christian Roland Wallace, slot or safety.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that leave? I mean, to me, it's Kyer Elam. Now, if he looks horrible in OTAs and training camp, then it doesn't matter, and they'll move on and probably bring someone else in. But I think right now, Kyer Elam does have a pretty good shot of making the roster because I think he is CB4 in the outside cornerback pecking order.
Yeah, and he's straight out of low cash, too, if he is that CB4. The last year, the number of cornerbacks they kept was 5. 2024, the number of cornerbacks they initially kept was 5. But last 2 years, there's been sort of a tweener. So 2025, they kept 5 cornerbacks, 3 pure safeties, and then Christian Roland Wallace.
Yeah.
So that made 9. In 2024, they kept 5 cornerbacks, 4 safeties, and then Christian Roland Wallace, a tweener. That was your 10.
And Shamari's kind of a tweener too because he was a safety playing slot corner. It was a little.
But in 2024, he was definitely a safety.
Definitely a safety. Yes.
And I think Christian Roland Wallace was more of a safety at that time. So if we put CRW in the safety category, that means 5 corners, 5 safeties in 2024, 5 corners in 2025, with Roland Wallace and Connor mixed in with the safeties of Brian Cook and Jaden Hicks.
Yeah.
So they've been consistent in keeping 5 cornerbacks.
Well, you're at least having 5.
Yeah.
You're not getting through a season with 4.
Yes.
And so that's why Delane.
In the
Noel
initial
Williams,
53.
Yeah,
So,
yes, correct. And so that really does leave, to me, I think Elam has a better chance of maybe even than Kader Kohu because you have at least options this year who can play slot, Kennedy and Christian Roland Wallace. You don't have options at outside corner outside of your main 3, your top 3. So that's why I'm hitching my wagon to Elam right now. That's why he's my maybe biggest surprise for the majority of the fan base of making the roster and probably playing some snaps, like a decent amount of snaps this year.
My off-the-radar pick, I wanted to pick one for defense and offense, and we talk a lot about the receivers. Didn't want to go with a receiver. My off-the-radar pick, and I don't think this guy's going to start right away. I think it's Asapole. I think Asapole showed you down the stretch that he could fill in and play very serviceable. He played on the left side. I don't know if he played on the right side last year. I think he might have, or was that Chu Godric?
He played both. Asapole played on the left.
I think he played both, but
Yeah.
I could see him absolutely being that swing tackle they keep on the roster. And if you want to look at the health concerns with Josh Simmons, he missed time last year, both injury-related and non-injury-related. Jalen Moore missed time last year. I think he could be that swing tackle that is going to play at some point in 26. And I feel pretty good about that.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that.
I really, that would be the one that if it's like, okay, who does make an impact? Obviously, Jaden Hicks would matter. Cooper McDonald would matter. Kyer Elam would matter. Those all would help. But if Esapole shows you that he can play a representative right tackle, just like, okay, he might be the weak link, but he's not the weak link that destroys the entire offensive line.
If he can be Jalen Moore last year, because
If
look
he's-
at the contract.
And that's sort of the point, is if Pole can step up and do that, you're not going into the draft next year saying they need wide receiver and right tackle. And you only got one first-round draft pick to have wide receiver and right tackle, so good luck.
And eventually linebacker and
right.
then safety.
And so they could go into next year if Esapole is like, oh, no, this guy has shown, like Jalen Moore went out for these 2 or 3 games and Esapole stepped in and played, and look what he was able to do. And the Chiefs feel like they go into the offseason and go, well, we got 5 starters. We got our left tackle, right tackle. We got our 3 guys in the interior as well with Kingsley, Trey, and Creed. We're good there. We don't have to look at first round and say we need a tackle badly because we don't have anybody there at the right side. Pole couldn't do it. Jalen Moore is a free agent. We're not going to go that route. Although the tackle market has
overcorrected, I think.
Yeah. You know what? It was pretty suppressed this year compared to what it was a year ago. Like I'd love to know what Jalen Moore or Dan Moore would get in this year's market, considering what some of the other players got.
Jawan and Walker got.
Yeah,
I mean, I think both those guys.
Yeah. So you may even, like if Esapole doesn't perform, you may not even need to go into the draft thinking right tackle. You may be able to sign one at a reasonable rate that could be cheaper than a Jalen Moore that may give you Jalen Moore production. But hopefully you don't have to worry about that if Esapole were to step up and play well. So that's one that I think would be great for this team. My number 2 is a guy that I thought maybe potentially was going to be cut for this team to save room and cap room and things like that. Like we talked about, it's not Drew Tranquill, but we talked about maybe Drew Tranquill is on the wrong side of a cap situation, and he's a guy that's actually going to be at Chicken and Pickle tomorrow night, and so I'm hoping that this is the case. But it's Garrett Dieter. No, Noah Gray is my number 2, and the reason I went Noah Gray is, well, they didn't move on from Noah Gray. So they still view him as part of this team. I don't know what Brennan Stool and some of the other tight ends will offer, but Noah Gray has been around a number of years. They signed to the contract for a reason. And with the situation the Chiefs are in receiver-wise, so we look at it, and right now it's Rashee Rice with the knee injury and county jail. That's what it is.
I don't know why.
Just giving you the
made me chortle a little
what
bit.
it is on May 27th. Xavier Worthy coming off a season where injury may have been a big part of it, but it wasn't a step forward from his rookie year. In fact, it felt more like a step back. Tyquan Thornton, that may be more a part of the offense, but again, you're talking about Tyquan, Jalen Royals, Cyrus Allen. The reason I'm going with Noah Gray is when we look back to the small stretch of football where he had that 3 or 4 games that it was like, wow, Noah Gray, 4 catches, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 catches, 60 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 catches, 70 yards in like a 3-game stretch. It's like, wow, Noah Gray is becoming a fantasy option in tight end and a real target for Mahomes. And that was kind of it. And that was in 2024. And we didn't see that last year. And I thought Noah Gray was going to have like a breakout year, that they were going to throw to him more often. Kelsey was going to return and be a little bit quicker, smoother, more fleet of foot, and offer more of the attention. Therefore, Noah Gray might be able to do some things. But when I go back and look, and last year it wasn't exactly like they were littered with receivers everywhere, okay? Because everybody got to eat didn't happen until, week 7. But when I look at that stretch of football that Noah Gray had, the 16 receptions over 3 weeks and almost 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, the receivers on the field were Mecole Hardman, DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Watson, Juju, and Xavier Worthy, having to fill in a role that he wasn't going to fill in because Rashee Rice was injured. Juju had the hamstring he was still nursing. They had to go and trade for the leftover bones of DeAndre Hopkins, McCole Hardman, Justin Watson. Those were the guys getting the targets. And so it was almost to a degree of necessity where you've got these guys that are not high-level receivers, and you've got Travis Kelce, and somebody needs to step up and play and make the receptions and maybe run more play action. They were handing the ball off more to Kareem Hunt, handing the ball off a little bit more to Isaiah Pacheco. And so there was more of that at that time with Noah Gray. So I'm wondering if you're getting more handoffs to Kenneth Walker and running the ball, maybe some play action, and the receivers that may not necessarily be as good as you would hope, if Rashee Rice is out there or not. What's Worthy doing? It's Tyquan. Then I think Noah Gray, there'll be some opportunities and some targets that could be available in 12 personnel with him out there with Travis Kelce on some play action type things. And he's shown that he doesn't drop the football when thrown to him.
I like that pick a lot. He needs to be. His blocking ranked out on PFF pretty solid for, again, a tight end who's maybe a little undersized. Mm-hmm. But we've always talked about he has the want to. There's no denying that he wants to block. Like, he is a willing blocker. Just sometimes that size, he's not that 6'6", 260, right? That's not him. But he has the want to, and he will get first crack, and probably he'll keep it, I'd imagine. 12 personnel is going to be him and Travis. If they don't bring in Will Dissly or someone like that, he's going to get a large amount of snaps again. It's just, can he be a little more effective? Hopefully Kenneth Walker in the run game opens things up for him more often. But you're right, when the ball gets thrown his way, outside of that, I think there was that one game, but more time than not, he catches the rock.
There was like the one drop that he...
I think he had 2 drops like in one game, and you're like, you never drop the ball.
The 2 drops he's had in his entire career in that game.
Was that the game that he got like laid out and almost concussed? Or was that a different year?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
The last 2 years run together. I don't remember, to be honest with you. Before we break, you had a third one?
Oh, third one was just going to be Jalen Royals, and that's my minor one. Again, the one I feel most strongly about, Cooper McDonald getting a large chunk of snaps.
I like the Cooper McDonald one.
Kaiir Elam making the roster and probably getting a good amount of snaps as well. I'm pretty confident. I feel pretty good about that one. Third one is Jalen Royals. I was between him and Cyrus Allen. I went with Royals just because this will be his second year in the system, and it's more of a necessity right now than anything else. I think he'll get an opportunity, and so if you believe in him, I think that there's an opportunity for one of Cyrus or Jalen to really get some early season snaps, and right now I would lean Royals. The fact that Juju's still not here, we'll see, but Royals might take that Juju job of, can you do the blocking? Can you do some of the dirty work? Can you be DeMarcus Robinson? Can you try and turn into something along those lines? And that's the goal. I think he gets first crack.
That's I like that one. And we had Daniel Holmes on yesterday, and I mentioned, well, if Rashee Rice isn't out there, I mentioned Debo and maybe, and he's like, no, it's Jalen Royals. If Rashee Rice isn't out there, the guy that should be playing that role is Jalen Royals. So we'll see. He'll have an opportunity. Cyrus Allen will have an opportunity. Bailey Falter had an opportunity. He did not come through. Hopefully these guys will. We'll take a timeout, come back. More Zone next. All right, man, if you're out there in your 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it might be, really older than 20, then you might be suffering from things that could be related to low testosterone. Guys in their early to mid-30s start losing 2 to 3% of their testosterone production every single year. It happens gradually. Before you know it, you don't feel the same way that you did in your 20s and 30s. And Heartland Men's Health is here to help you with those testosterone treatments, also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more, all designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. And if you combine that with the low T treatments and the body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. Simply schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health today. They'll do your lab work, have your results within 30 minutes, and then a licensed medical provider will review the results with you, discuss your options, help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment, it's $99, but with that, you get the medical consult, the T and PSA test, and if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, it's free. You don't pay a dime. They have been successfully treating men in the Kansas City area. Heartland Men's Health with 3 locations to serve you. Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
All right, wrapping up this hour, we'll talk with Mick Schaefer coming up in the next segment. Next hour, in fact, KSHB 41 Sports Director, presented by Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk. I'm wondering what the younger you would be doing as a 30-year-old if you had made $100-something million, the way that Travis Kelce in New Heights this morning said he's living out every Cleveland kid's dream of now being part owner of the Cleveland Guardians, mainly just so he can have another first pitch, just to make up for the last time.
He made up one. He went to the Royals and had another one that was good.
It's not at Cleveland.
Okay.
It's not at Cleveland. It's not the one that he spiked. Gronk spiked the first pitch.
I would not be doing this.
You wouldn't purchase the Guardians? Me either.
Twitter thinks he's funny.
Shame on you nerds.
His wife and kids think he's lame.
No!
We couldn't get Paul, so we're stuck with Mick. Yep. Okay, still got it going on. Mick Schaefer on the Zone with Jason Anderson.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
I think about that. I don't hate him.
Yeah, I don't know that I hate him either.
Have you seen
I
the
actually
Penny
have not
loafers?
seen. Can you show me the shoes? Can you show the video too? They're
Here's the problem. We're losing pennies. It's going to be scarce pretty soon to find a penny.
You got to
to put in
show the
penny
video though, Sterling.
They're dime loafers.
Yeah.
Now you're showing me something.
Show it over here. Yep, there you go. There you go.
That's the
a
broken ankle.
little further that way.
It's the broken ankle.
Other way.
Other way.
There you go.
Blind.
Yeah. Yeah. When was the last time you put some polish on that thing? 5 minutes ago?
Are you talking about?
No, I actually need to.
Are those
though.
brand? Did you buy those at like $9.59?
Did you just walk through?
walk
through an airport and stopped at the shoe shine?
No, I've had these for.
Those are the cleanest
for a
shoes
little
I've
bit.
ever seen in my life.
Is there a new shoe shine
Nice,
spot here at the
though.
office
You
that I'm
shine
not
them
aware
yourself?
I'll get a little rag and clean them off at times, but no, I have not shined these.
Oh, there's something on there. There's some shiny substances on there.
Probably just. Well, no.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
good for you.
All right.
They're good though. They're nice
Great.
penny
No.
loafers. I think what we're trying to do is bring back penny loafers.
Well, it's going to be tough. Like I said, those pennies are going away. They're not making
Well, they're
them
dime
anymore.
loafers now.
Dime loafers, which are smaller than pennies.
I
Right?
know. Really, those should have gone first.
Yeah.
Honestly, do you think the $2 bill? Quite frankly, think about it. The dollar bill should have gone first, and then the $2 bill should still be around.
Why?
Well, because two's more than one.
There's more than one.
Yeah.
No.
So therefore, the 10 should be around, but the 5 we need to get rid of that
I
one.
wish I had
Eventually.
dollar bills that were, I had more of the greater ones, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would love
more
to.
hundreds than ones.
I would take every one of my $1 bills and exchange it for a $2 bill right now. If the government wanted to do that, I'll do it.
Gurley walks around with $2 bills all the time.
Yep.
You could grab one
I
and
got
put one
one.
in your penny loafer.
I actually
I
have
got
some
one.
$2 bills in my. I always keep some on me. My grandparents every year.
Some?
Normally,
Supposedly.
not
Like
anymore.
multiple?
Actually, not anymore. It's probably been a few years. Used to give me a $2 bill every year for my birthday.
Yeah.
And so I just keep them, and I love every once in a while to hand them out.
That's
you know, like,
$60 now.
You'd go to like a coffee shop,
thanks,
and you'd like,
Grandpa.
He's 19.
Thanks,
or like
Grandpa.
you're golf, and you give it to like
a
after
whole
you're
quarter.
around,
Yeah.
the guy that
Yeah.
cleans your clubs or something like that, and he's like,
nice.
It's kind of fun. The $2.
Yeah.
You get happy when you see a $2 bill. There's something innate as a human being.
What's the? Are they making those anymore?
$2 bills?
Do they make $2 bills?
I don't think they have
anymore?
for like
I don't
a
think so.
long time.
That
I
and
think-
the pennies. They're not making them anymore.
No, yeah, I got Greg Early gave me a $2 bill
That's
a couple of
your
years
one,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's been
But what
nothing
if-
but lucky since then.
Hear me out though. What if
so
the
lucky.
economy does the opposite thing, and where instead of inflation, it's deflation? All of a sudden, pennies are now worth
So a recession.
so much money.
Recessions.
I'm ready for deflation if it's not a
or I guess
recession. Usually, recession prices
They
don't go down.
No, they don't. Yes, you're right. That's recession, inflation, and all of that.
I just want deflation.
Connected.
I want deflate. I want to
Like to
shrink the
deflate some
game.
gas
Shrink
All for it.
shrink
Shrink
it.
commerce.
Like to,
Shrink commerce.
Price
I want
of gas and the
deflate some
price
gas
of,
prices
like,
right now. That'd be great.
belts and everything.
Before we go on.
And penny loafers.
and
Shuffle
penny
of
loafers.
trips.
Well,
Yeah.
these were on sale. I'm not buying anything full price. Okay, I'm going
Pay
out
full
and
price for gas.
clothing items.
Oh, okay. Well, you said I'm not buying
Jason,
anything.
I'm not wearing
You
gas.
say, where do you get your 50% gas?
I was back in my hometown this past weekend. Gas is like in the 380s, 390s. So I've devised a plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive down there
That makes total sense.
to get my gas.
Yeah, you get cheaper gas.
That just
Back,
makes
yes.
way more
Yes.
It's cheaper gas
sense.
Yes.
there. Yeah. Like, I drive about 20 minutes because it's 10 cents cheaper.
Yeah.
So you drive
You've got it
20
figured
minutes to
out.
get there. Yeah, I mean, come on.
My hometown's 3 hours away.
yeah,
so
but you're saving money in the
Yeah,
long
but
run.
saving so much money.
And you have to go down there either way.
no.
Not necessarily. If he wants gas, he does, apparently.
Wait a second. Maybe this
Yeah,
isn't a
no, I-
foolproof.
Well, have you done the
plan.
math on this? Have you put into like a calculator?
No, don't need
the
this.
miles per gallon.
Here's the math. It's cheaper gas.
Okay.
That's
Cheaper
the only
gas.
equation. I'm
Yeah.
paying less.
If it's $4 a gallon and he's got 20 gallons, then it's $80. If it's $3.50, it's less.
Yeah, it's less. It's doing it.
So there you go. That's easy
I'll tell you-
calculation
you know
in my
what's not
mind.
great?
Wasn't it always sunny when they bought all the gas,
gas,
when it was
yeah.
high priced?
And then
they just saved it for when it was coming along.
And then I love Charlie going, "Well, I can count how much it is." And then he's like, "Well, how do you count how much we're giving them? 1, 2." I know how to count, dude. It's a great episode. That's the wild card episode, I think, too.
Wild card. I
yeah.
got the brakes. Why? Wild card. Damn it, Charlie. You're not a wild card for us.
What would Kansas City be? It's always sunny in Philadelphia. What would the?
yeah.
It's
It's always Mahomes
It's
in
always
Kansas
smoking
City.
in Kansas City.
Smoking's a good one.
Oh,
yeah.
it's always fountains. right? Right, Mick?
Yeah.
You like the city of fountains. You like the fountains around here, right?
Love that.
Wait, do you actually not like the fountains?
I actually host a podcast sometimes called Between Two Fountains.
Yep. Which is
Through
ironic.
810.
Which is ironic because he hates being between fountains because he doesn't like fountains.
I feel like they're cooler things to be known for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
the
kind of
fountains.
like it. Well, because
Barbecue.
back in the day, though, if you think about it,
And nobody knows this. Even most of the people in Kansas City don't know we have the second most fountains in the world.
well, we should.
We should, but they don't
And
because it's
I
not
remember
behind-
in
behind Lee
like
Summit?
elementary school and middle school
Caldwell,
taking
Kansas.
like trips to the plaza and them telling us about this,
Yeah.
and you'd go around and you'd laugh at the one that you would see like like the naked
With the wiener?
Yeah, the wiener.
Oh, yeah,
you'd laugh
yeah.
at the wieners.
You always got the wieners that have the fountains, like a little fountain coming out of it. Oh, just
in
taking a leak.
fairness, you're taking a 12-year-old down to see that. We're gonna laugh.
Just taking a leak.
We're gonna laugh.
Ain't
at
nothing wrong with
Who
that.
counts? Who goes around to all the cities?
A
Because you got to do it
mathematician.
yearly
Yeah,
to
that's
make sure
true.
one city hasn't passed another
Yeah.
to count the fountains.
And that's all done by email, I think, now at this point.
And then how
No, it's gonna
big?
be a
I mean,
conference.
because there's like I got plenty of friends like in their backyard garden. They got a fountain.
That's a great
Does that
point.
count? Or
I have
how
a fountain.
big?
It does.
Does yours count
Does
towards
it
it?
have to be
Well,
a city
it's semi-broken.
fountain?
The pond still needs to get fixed, but
Yeah.
once that gets fixed, there is a little
certain
fountain in it.
volume of water that's pushed through it daily.
Does it have to be specific public property fountains?
Maybe.
Wait,
So
when the
is
K
are the
moves,
cops- yeah, is
if
that
the K moves,
Oh, yeah.
K's not public? It's public.
and if
property,
and if
isn't it?
they
We own it,
take
thank
the
you.
fountains out, and how many does each fountain count, or is it just one fountain?
It's just one. That's a big ass fountain. Or are they counting each one of them? That's
It's a
great
bath.
point.
It's a bath. That's a big ass.
So
fountain.
when they take those fountains out, there's going to be more fountains at the K downtown. But while there's a crossover, now you just added fountains. In fact,
Or is it like, are they calling Guinness like they do with the decibel record and say, hey, yeah, if you pay us, we will say you're the loudest stadium. If you pay us, we'll say you have the most fountains.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Rome did to get more
But-
fountains than Kansas City.
But what's funny is that's Rome, and then you have the plaza that's obviously built after Seville, Spain.
Sure.
I think it's Spain, but yet Kansas City is the Paris of the Plains.
yeah.
Think about that.
Paris Hill.
Like, yeah, you've never heard that?
I don't think so.
Paris of the Plains.
But I didn't grow up here. I didn't go on the field trips.
Yeah.
Paris. Of the
Sometimes
Plains.
I'll throw a beret on just to feel like I'm
Yeah.
French and smoke one of those long cigarettes with, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
And have
Yeah.
like a baguette or something
Yeah,
just to
no.
really go
Do you have
into
your,
it.
do you have your cigarette holder?
That's what I'm talking about.
As
Get the
well?
long
Yeah.
cigarette holder so that
Yeah, that
way
makes sense. Yeah, I just use the pipe.
feel classy.
You know what I mean? And do that, so it's fine. That's the smoker's jacket. You got the tobacco and the pipe, and you just feel classier doing that.
Yeah, see, Paris of the Plains, popular
Yeah,
historical
that's cool.
nickname for Kansas City.
How about that? That's
Because
pretty neat.
it referenced the city's Prohibition-era reputation as a glamorous, freewheeling oasis
Yeah, it
of
was.
speakeasies,
Speakeasy,
jazz,
baby.
and political corruption.
I love
We
it.
did have all that stuff.
We had all
And
that
that's
stuff.
why it's
I've
called
learned
the
about
Paris of
that.
the
The
Plains.
mob. We got speakeasies, political corruption, fountains, barbecue. I mean,
And
what else
scenic
could you ask for?
boulevards. It was
scenic
scenic
boulevards,
Scenic boulevards,
boulevard brews,
Shawnee Mission Boulevard.
Yep, that's right. A lot of boulevards.
That's a parkway.
Yeah, that's fine. It could be a boulevard too. There's probably a boulevard somewhere around there. What's the
Yeah.
difference between a boulevard and a parkway? Or a road or a street?
I bet there's like subtle
gotta be.
differences.
I bet there has to be some
highway and a freeway.
historical.
They're all thoroughfares, though.
Sure.
Good word.
Yep, love it. There we go. Bailey Falter is no thoroughbred.
Did you really say that stuff last night after the game?
Yeah, you did.
No, that was AI.
Let's play the. Let's
You
play
never
the
know
Bailey-
anymore.
Let's play the final
I
comments.
got to get like 5 or 6 sources now.
right. Yes. The old journalism. If your mom says something,
Better get a second source.
Get a second
If she
source.
says she loves you.
If she says she loves you, find a second source. If they tell you the sun's coming up, go and check. Let's hear from Bailey Falter and what were ultimately the final words in a Kansas City Royals uniform. It's about 2 minutes long, and he wasn't happy with his performance, but there are plenty of reasons why his performance wasn't great, and some of them have nothing to do with him.
Just falling behind in counts, not hitting locations, not feeling the best either.
Feeling like physically not feeling the best you're talking about there? Or?
Just didn't really have anything behind the ball today, so I don't know if that's just being in the bullpen for 5 days and then getting a start, or not really having a role, just rolling with the punches right now.
How much does that overturn call in the first kind of alter your game plan out there?
I mean, well, it's hard to have a game plan when you don't have anything working, so you just try to do the best you can with what you have, and tonight I didn't have anything.
It was kind of a longer review. Does that change things for you at all?
No, not in my mind.
Were you surprised that they overturned it? Or do you not really look at that?
I wasn't surprised.
So you mentioned just the long layup. What have you been doing just to try and stay fresh and prepared for an opportunity like this?
I've been in the bullpen the past few days, so I've been trying to do my bullpen routine. Just trying to stay ready just in case I do get in the game, and then just another late minute start. So kind of just throws a whole ranch in the plan.
Frustration that you're feeling with just the role right now and what you're being asked to do?
I'm extremely frustrated, yeah. My job is to take the ball whenever my name's called, so just not really having a role right now. It's tough for the whole mental prep, the game prep, just trying to figure out a happy medium right now.
The last time when we had spoke, you were frustrated that you felt like your bullpens had been going well, and then in the game it wasn't resulting in that. Was that the feeling again tonight?
No, actually the bullpen was terrible warming up, so I thought I was going to have a better night, but it's tough throwing in a major league game when you not feeling the best, can't hit your spots, and you fall behind in counts.
Did you feel good starting? You got the first two guys out. I think 2 pitches, right?
Yeah, there was hard contact, but good thing it was right at somebody.
Well, you mentioned the bullpen ahead of the game not going well. Did you extend it at all? Is there anything you can do in that moment to feel better just going into the night?
My stuff was all over the place, so I didn't really know what to do at that point. I was just trying to hit spots, and the command wasn't there.
So there you go, Bailey Falter not really having a role, just rolling with the punches, in the bullpen, getting ready, then another late minute start. Are you frustrated with your role right now, or what you said lack thereof?
Before, right?
The announced probable pitchers we knew was going to be a bullpen game, but extremely frustrated in not having a role right now. So
he's got a role now.
He's going to be really
got a role now.
He's going to be really surprised and frustrated to figure out that he doesn't have a role right now. Like, what's your role now? I don't know.
Well, no, his role's not being a
starter in Omaha, maybe.
Yeah, no, he's DFA'd.
Oh, DFA'd, that's right. Yeah,
DFA'd. He ain't gonna. I would say there's a very small percentage chance that he signs and agrees to a AAA.
How much of that
with the Royals.
DFA assignment was the pitching performance? How much of it was the interview after the game?
It's funny. We talked. I asked that same question. Sterling and Michael think he was DFA'd regardless.
I think after the first inning, they had made their choice.
I've seen a lot of Royals pitchers put up, that kind of performance.
I think if there was any talk in the organization of, hey, what do we do? Do we DFA him? Do we just keep him in the bullpen after this performance? And then heard that, then there's no question he's gone. He's gone. So,
I think that could have been a tipping point. Surely more the performance and everything.
Yeah.
But hearing that, when
you're
you
not going to DFA Stephen Kolek if he has comments like that. They'll just say, "Oh yeah, we talked. We figured it out. We're good. We're on the
Q
same
goes
page."
out there every single night, and it is nauseating, and talks about how great the other pitcher was every single time. Basically, taking all the slings and arrows for his team that can't hit. Bobby Witt Jr., he's not this type of guy, but could throw everybody under the bus, basically, every night.
Yeah.
They aren't hitting, they aren't pitching, and he doesn't do that. That's just an unprofessional interview there by Falter.
Yes.
And so as much as it was a not big league performance on the mound, that is not a big league interview at all.
Do you know, just offense real quick, do you know how many guys are league average or above for the Royals?
What is
OPS?
What is the league average?
Anywhere from 710 to 720 in a given year.
How many are
currently OPSing above?
At 710.
Well,
I'll go to
720.
710.
Even 710. Okay.
2.
You are so dumb.
You're close.
1.
Yeah,
Bobby Witt Jr.
Bobby. Michael slid off that
I said the same thing. Like, Michael really fell down.
Yeah.
Second place is Cags at 706.
Yeah. I was thinking, is there a Lofton just because he has so few at-bats?
He's down to 672 now.
Okay,
he's down. The only other guy actually is technically Elias Diaz, but who's no longer on the team.
Yeah, on the team. Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Dude,
Also DFA.
It's just hilarious. So, number 1 is Bobby, 853. Number 2 is Cags at 706.
That's a wide gap.
Number 3 is Carter Jensen at 701. Yeah, now we're down to the 600s after that.
Boy, you don't tell me the numbers, Mick, and you say Cags is going to have the second highest OPS on the team behind Bobby.
Love it.
Oh, my God. Breakout, baby. I'm going to pay extra money in my fantasy draft for him.
He's still going to have negative WAR with that.
Somehow, somewhere.
No, he's got a .7.
There you go.
0.7, there we go.
Yeah, see, he's played some good defense.
Which
He's
is
got some outfield assists.
third highest for position players.
Yeah. Imagine what
Mike
Bailey,
Hell's number 2 because
imagine Bailey Falter today.
Cag's played good defense. Is that factored in the throws and all that?
You know who has the 4th highest WAR for position players?
Hold on. Let me for position players, 4th highest WAR. Lane Thomas.
Elias Diaz.
Oh, Jesus. I can't.
I
thought we were talking about guys that
0.5.
He's given this half a WAR. This team would
Does
be.
Salvi have a WAR yet that's positive?
Salvi is at actually 0. Just 0.
Without Elias Diaz, this team would be 21.5 and 33.5. With him, they're 22 and 33. So thank God he was on the team. Imagine a world today for Bailey Falter if that review wasn't overturned and it was a catch by Cags in right
Who
field.
remembers? And he's throwing him a lifeline there, too. Who remembers that review?
Yes.
I do not. I remember all the balls hit 110 miles an hour that inning off the bat, which was everyone.
I do remember the review because I was like, of course they're going to go to New York. In New York, overturns this.
I was driving to high school baseball.
Yep.
And I was just listening to that first inning.
I was driving from high school baseball to 10-year-old baseball.
I was sitting on the couch, just a glutton for punishment, telling myself, I'm going to watch every pitch because I want to prove how bad this team is. And my goodness.
Bailey Falter's exit
all was
velocity
ass.
last night was a lot of FM stations. He faced 16 batters, Mick. Here,
the ones that play like the pop rock.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. Yes. Here
I want
are
a crane.
the EVs for the 16 batters that
107.3
Bailey Falter went up against. Here we go. Ready? 92.8. That was a lineup.
The Fan.
Hey, soul sister.
109.6.
The Mix.
105.1.
The Something.
We're going to have to come up with more. 106.2.
Pop Rocks 102.
107.4.
Your mom worked the industry. You got to help me out here.
101.2.
KUDL.
105.9. 103.1.
Hot Country.
86.5.
The Star.
Hot Talk. 102.4.
KYY.
World's happiest broadcast.
97.
That's down there in the church music.
Yeah. 84.1.
Hallelujah.
100.9, 105.1, 103.6.
Honestly, we got no church music
98.3.
stations. We got no late 80s, early 90s there.
The lowest EV was 84 miles an hour in the 16 batters that he faced. 11 of the 16 were 100 plus exit velocity for Bailey Falter last night.
And so,
but it's probably because he didn't know he was going to start.
Most of that early on, he was listing off all the reasons why he doesn't have a role, right? He's got nothing behind it. He can't locate. Guys are, he's like, I got a couple outs, but they were rocketed right at people.
At least he said that.
That's your reason there why you don't. Who do you think you are?
I
am.
Hey, I beat you guys to it. All right. But last year, he and Stephen Kolek had roughly the same opportunity to pitch.
Does he not watch Stephen Kolek this year?
Kolek came through last year. Bailey Falter started 2 games and then was so bad in those 2 starts he pitched a total of 8 innings, had 16 base runners, had 9 earned runs in those 8 innings. They moved him to the bullpen. He wasn't much better there. And then this year, he's had a couple of starts, openers, and he hadn't been good. So what could you possibly say that you needed an established role? Here's your established role. You get a major league check every day you're up here active with the Royals. There's your role. Hey, we need you to pitch. Okay, so my role is to take the ball and go pitch?
Yeah,
yep, there's your role.
He just described everybody in the bullpen's role there. Like, you're not singled out there.
Sorry, the roll's not good enough. He wants jam and butter, too. Like, this is...
honey butter.
They at least thought enough of you to start you. Hey.
You're the opener.
That's
You're the opener.
actually a compliment.
It is. Like, okay, this guy can get through the first round of batters. First time through the order, and that didn't happen.
And won't give up 100-mile-an-hour exit velocity to 11 of 16. We're pretty confident of that. As long as we don't have that, I think we're good. I think we're fine. Multiple home runs from guys and doubles, and even the outs are line outs. They're loud outs, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll get through this.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to pitch Tyler Tolbert.
No, not at all. Maybe they should have started Tolbert.
Please. Can we please just see Cags? And I also find it...
No, because
hard no.
No, because
I know
he
it's
won't,
a hard no.
He won't be able to keep himself from not throwing 99.
But you're only doing it for like 20 pitches tops.
All it takes is one.
I get that, but then don't let him ever throw a ball hard in the outfield.
I almost said Michael Tucker. Look what happened to center fielder for the Royals that won a Gold Glove.
Michael Taylor.
Michael Taylor. Getting tickets. They got Michael A. Taylor. He went out there and threw mid 90s or low 90s, whatever, and then he got to go on the IL.
Risk is worth the reward.
Cats might be a bad option there. Like he might only top out at 90 because he's trying to locate right, and they would tee off on that as opposed to the 48 miles an hour.
I loved Ahmad Rosario, who was just doing softball swings out there.
Yeah,
I mean he was
thrilled by that homer because on the broadcast they're like he's more happy about this homer than his first, and they're like, yeah, it's harder to hit.
I mean, that's just literally softball swinging out there. That was honestly, at that point, it was kind of fun.
Miles an hour pitches.
Then
for,
the guy that took the walk. Who took the walk? I was so pissed.
You don't do that.
It's like softball.
You do. You take you give him a swing.
Absolutely, you
just
do. Nice. Come on.
The 37 miles an hour, 43 miles an hour. 46, 44, 48, 48, 48, 47, 46, 46. He's damn near okay in a school zone. Tolbert is right here. 50, 51, 52, 52. He's ramping it up there. 44, 47, 47, 43, 49, 49, 47, 48, 49, 47. There you go. Those were the pitches from Tyler Tolbert, miles an hour.
Yeah,
he started off at 37.
There's opening pitches, first pitches thrown out before the game that are faster than what he was throwing.
And they put Isaac Collins at second. Like, whatever, let's go Little League this thing. You guys want to just, you know what, Bobby, you haven't played center field in a while.
Pounded out like 3 or 4 more hits.
Cags, you want to try third base? Like, let's see what happens. You got a great arm.
At one point, I was cheering for 30 hits. I'm like, I want to see history here.
Well, because Krispy Kreme's coming back if you get 30. Hawaiian Brothers like, all right. 30 hits, we'll actually give the free meals away, okay? Enough with this. Did they get 6 runs last night? Darn it.
They've got it once, right?
Yeah, they did get it once.
That was such a bad decision because they could have cut out the bad PR.
It's just
and then only played out once in the last couple weeks.
It's BS. I'm now going to Alaska Bros.
No, that makes
that
sense.
right?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the other
49
state. Yeah, instead of 50. I'm going to the Alaskan Bros.
Got a lot of continental.
The Guam Bros. Still kind of that South Pacific food.
Yeah, it's still.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
Spam, maybe.
Is that right?
American Samoa Bros. That's what I'm going.
There's got to be at least a territory.
That's one of our territories.
It's got to be at least a territory to be able to go to that place with the bros. Bra. That'd be why isn't it Hawaiian bras?
So
then they'd be like, what is that like a coconut bra? What's a Hawaiian bra?
I posed this question in the newsroom whenever the story came out. I'm like, is it Hawaiian Brothers or is it Hawaiian Bros? Is the name of it? Is Bros short for brothers? Everybody says Bros, but is the real name Hawaiian Brothers?
I think it's Hawaiian Bros. Like I think
that's what I settled on. Like if I say Hawaiian Bros, I'm closer to being right than brothers.
Hawaiian Brothers. Which ones?
What's that? Yeah.
What are they?
Ones?
Where do they go to school?
Yeah, it says HawaiianBros.com.
Yeah, there's no period after the bros on the sign.
Oh yeah, there is that right before the com. HawaiianBros.
Like if I type in Hawaiian Brothers, I think I'm just gonna get a picture of Hawaiian Brothers.
Jason Momoa and his brother. Yes. Oh, cool. Here we go.
It does go to Hawaiian Bros. Still, but maybe images. Do I get Hawaiian Brothers? No, I still get the food. Oh, and then eventually Hawaiian Brothers.
Oh, is it a famous people?
No, I think it's the owners of Hawaiian Bros.
Oh, are they brothers?
Too many questions.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
I've exited out.
I apologize. My bad.
As you should.
Does Jason Momoa have a brother? Because if he does, that would be the Hawaiian Bros.
Anti-Teo? Is he from Hawaii? Or was that his girlfriend? Are there fake brothers she has?
I now feel bad for Manti Te'o after hearing the story.
Good for him. He has pushed through to where, like, I see him on NFL Network.
Yeah.
It's not the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
He's, held his head up high and gone on and had a career after football, and, happy for him.
And he was good at the Super Bowl, too. He was really good. He was fun, energetic. And he was the victim of it too. You know, it's not like
a very embarrassing thing.
He wasn't making it up to get sympathy.
It was like, hey, I'm actually a good guy. And we're gonna rip on him for being a good guy.
Yeah. Yes.
For believing that there's love in the world.
I feel like there were a lot of red flags there he could have raised an eyebrow at, but no.
Yes.
He's trustworthy.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You might be this way, Sterling, but I've never had a girlfriend who I had not met.
You could have stopped at girlfriend, probably.
Yeah. You've never had a girlfriend, Sterling? You just went straight to marriage.
Yeah, I guess.
Just 90 Day Fiance.
It was a TV show, basically.
Right around rooms. 90 Day Fiance, that thing.
I should go
like Love Game.
Love is Blind.
Love Game.
Love has a mustache.
Bachelor number one. If we were on a date and the waiter was rude, how would you react?
I'm taking my tarp off and crushing this beer.
I did tarps off 10 years ago, the Royals game.
You started that trend.
10 years ago, my boy texted me and go, they're doing the thing that we did 10 years ago.
They're doing the thing. Yes, you guys, 2015, the first time somebody took a shirt off at a baseball game.
Yeah, it was the rate. Whenever the Royals lost
you are a
24-1 to the Rangers, that was the day.
That was it. You're like Forrest Gump. You kind of started
That's
everything.
right.
You've been around
Started
every
shrimp,
big thing.
too.
Yes. It happens. What? Tarps off? Yes.
I feel like the trend, the latest version of it, was started at Oklahoma State.
It was
last
Oklahoma
year.
State.
That was the best thing that happened to Oklahoma
that is
State
true.
football
The
last
latest
year.
iteration of tarps off was
Yeah.
Oklahoma
Yeah.
State.
Yep. They actually started this version of tarps off.
Just early.
I don't think there's somebody that could have. At some point, though.
Did we do tarps off for Harambe? We did lots of things for Harambe.
Yeah,
Was
that's
that
right.
one of the
We did
things?
prayer visuals and things like that, remembrances.
Tarps off for Harambe.
Things like that. That should have been one of those tarps off for Harambe, and
That
you could raise
entire
money.
school year, would go to football games, shoot highlights, and they had the fat heads of everybody, and then every school had a fat head of Harambe.
Harambe.
It was a fun time.
I do wonder who
Not
was,
for Harambe.
Who was? Yeah, it was not a fun time for him. He was just being Harambe. That's not his fault.
Yeah.
Who was the who? I do want to know because it's somebody's out there. The first person to take their shirt off at a baseball game, because back in the day it was all
like
suits and top hats.
1920s.
Somebody had to be the first time. No. 1920s. You ain't taking your shirt off at a major league baseball game.
they got
It's
put
suits and top
they got
hats.
put into like a loony bin.
They did. They got put in
Suits
the
and top
clink.
hats. Suits and top hats. What 1960s
60s maybe.
or 60s? One of the one of the hippies.
Make love, not war.
I bet it was one of those damn hippies that did that.
Some drunk guy in the 20s.
Smoking
Yeah,
the
there's
reefer.
always going to be an outlier.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
with you.
always an
There's
outlier. That
smoking the
proves the
reefer.
rule, but there's
Smoking the reefer. So he didn't start the trend then. The first one that did it, and they're like, man, maybe I should take my shirt off too. It's hot out here.
it was somehow in Philly.
First time it was done and socially acceptable. I wonder.
Yeah, that's
60s.
Yeah,
60s.
yes, those hippies smoking their reefer and their long hair and their rock and roll music.
Had like the what was it? The 62 Mets that were just horrible. Maybe some
Oh,
kids out
yeah.
at that game.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. What would 10-year-old Mick, as a mid-30-year-old man with lots of millions of dollars, buy? Because Travis,
How old am I in this?
you're in your mid-30s.
Okay.
But as a 10-year-old, Travis is living out, quote, every Cleveland kid's dream
Oh yeah.
in buying a part of the
And-
Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, the dream of the guy in Super Troopers.
That's right.
Don't say by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Who was it? That was
Shenanigans.
yeah, the guy that said
You go-
shenanigans.
you go to-
The
where-
big guy.
where's that?
Oh my
Hey,
God, what was his
Hey,
name?
Farva,
Farva.
where's that restaurant that we have? Shenanigans? You guys talking about shenanigans?
Got the cheese sticks and all that stuff on the wall.
Shenanigans. You're talking about shenanigans, right?
Oh, pistol whipping.
I don't want to be part owner of the Cleveland.
And don't say by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, and don't say buy the Cleveland Cavaliers if you have that. How about Succession being that I'll pistol whip the next man that says shenanigans. Hey, Farva.
He's had a great career.
Shenanigans. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back. No more shenanigans here.
You're in the zone with Jason Anderson on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Travis Kelce said he is now living out every Cleveland kid's dream of purchasing the Guardians. I think a lot of kids' dream is to get out of Cleveland, but it's also maybe purchasing a piece of the Cleveland Guardians. So now Travis Kelce is part owner of the Cleveland Guardians.
Wanting to purchase the Cleveland Indians. But like
that's
the
a good
kids
point. That would have been
10
odd.
and under now would be like,
what if Kelce grew up and said, "I want to buy the Cleveland Guardians"?
And
prescient.
Even
Yes.
older people said, "Oh, I want to buy the Cleveland Spiders."
Yeah, they would have said it like
Remember
that
they bought
too.
a win. They tried to do that. That's yeah, Shay. I want to buy the Cleveland Spiders. What do you say about that, huh? Yes.
Was that
They would've said it
was that
like
what
that.
they were right before? The
Like
Indians?
into like 1990 or
Weren't they the-
1899.
Were
worst
they the
team.
Naps too? Like they were named after Nap LaJoy, who
Yeah.
was like the man. Back
LaJoy?
then, sometimes you would just name the franchise after the head coach,
Yeah,
or the owner, like Cleveland Browns.
The Kansas
That's
City
what they did in Cleveland. They're
Kansas
just-
City Quatreros. Oh, okay. Well, that's
We're
a
going to
great
change the name in about a year and a half.
Well, once
So
he gets
why
fired.
Murakami for the White Sox? He played for a team in Japan that was named the Swallows.
Yes, he was. Do you think
Was that
that's after
was
a
that
person?
after Coach?
I would assume a bird.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. I'm asking a question, Sterling. I'm just asking the question because I don't know.
It feels like you're trying to make a
Curious,
joke. We were told
curious
no more
people ask
shenanigans.
questions to find out the answer so they don't go around being ignorant.
Mick,
Maybe
what-
that's what people did after they hit home runs. Gulp, they swallowed. That was a big home run.
It's the team Italy did with the espresso shots.
That's right.
So
They swallowed so much.
there you go. Great, man.
They hit a lot of homers.
They hit a lot of
swallowed
them.
a lot.
They were all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
I was told as we went to break, no more shenanigans.
These aren't shenanigans. These are
These
questions.
are fun and cheeky shenanigans. Not
Yes,
cruel.
not cruel shenanigans. You were going to ask a question, Sterling?
I don't know anymore, man.
Okay, very good. So, Travis Kelce has purchased a piece of the Cleveland Guardians. Besides buying the entire town of Caldwell, 10-year-old Mick growing
I
up.
think I could afford that right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you could at least get a piece of it. Mine would be, and I wouldn't be able to do it because they wouldn't sell me any of it. But it would have been the Chiefs. Like growing up, like man, that would have been a dream to be like part owner of the Chiefs. The Hunt family won't sell me any of that. That stuff. I've reached out to them. I was like, I've got a $2 bill. What percentage does that get me? At least a parking spot, maybe. Brought to you by the parking spot.
Yep.
What would what's Mick Schaefer
So
spending his
when I
hundreds
was
of millions of dollars
when I
on?
was 10, it was 1987.
Yeah.
And Thurman Thomas was completing one of the greatest careers a running back in college football history has had.
You would have bought Oklahoma State.
And then the guy behind him who was returning kickoffs every game for touchdowns, named Barry Sanders,
Never heard of him.
was about to take over. And Mike Gundy was the quarterback, Hartley Dykes, Mark Moore on defense, Leslie O'Neal. Man, they were so good. They beat everybody except for Nebraska and Oklahoma. Every year they were like 10-2.
Yeah.
And so I would have bought Oklahoma State football.
Nice.
And now you can.
Kind of
Back then you couldn't.
Yeah,
now
Texas
you
Tech-
can.
Texas Tech's got their guy buying Texas Tech
Yes.
football, you know,
Yes.
except for
I would
the-
have been T. Boone Pickens before there was T. Boone
That's right,
Pickens.
before T. Boone
I was T. Boone Mickens, Sterling.
That was actually really good.
Boone Mickens. Sterling, what are you buying?
What am I buying? If I had a
Final
million,
Four from Missouri.
if I had $1 million, if I had $1 million, what am I buying?
That's all it takes. No, Travis Kelce paid more than $1 million
I'll tell you
to
what I
purchase
did,
part of the. No, not what you would do. I get it. I'm not asking that. But because also 10-year-old Sterling doesn't know about that. 10-year-old Sterling thinking about, man, if I'm going to make millions of dollars, man, I would do this.
Do you sound like that?
As a 10-year-old, he did.
I sounded way lamer than that.
I can't wait till I get to high school.
Did you have this deep guttural voice back then?
No, that's pretty good though.
I was trying to sound like Jim Rome.
I don't try. I just do. I
There's no
would
try. There's just doing.
probably buy at 10 the Royals.
So you'd be like Patrick Mahomes. You buy a piece of the
They
Royals.
were
and
really crappy when
And
you
I
were
probably could
student.
actually buy the Royals at that point, like the full Royals. I would be Mr. Glass.
yeah, you'd be part of the glass.
They were
family.
coming off their best season a lot of years when you were 10.
How old were
03.
you? What year were you? 10?
04.
04. So
Oh,
yeah.
that was going to be a great year. Oh yeah, that was one of the.
And
That was maybe.
then it wasn't.
Yeah, I think 04 and 26 are two of the most disappointing seasons in Royals history. With
I
the
would have done
excitement and
that.
expectations leading into it.
Because 10-year-old me was way more into baseball than football.
You could have helped with 100 lost seasons.
They would never have lost 100 games under me.
What would you have done at 10 to change that?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew
have
ball
kept-
at age 10. I knew that walks mattered. I understood
You'd
OPS.
already seen that movie they hadn't made. about
I
the
understood
A's.
OPS.
You'd be like a little big league, buying the Twins, or at least the grandpa gives you the Twins in his will, and then you make yourself the manager.
I would have said if you trade Jermaine Dye, Johnny Damon, and Carlos Beltran for that, you're a dumbass. So I wouldn't have done it.
Buying into the Royals at 04,
I could have paid for those guys.
So buying in at 04,
Carlos.
Damon and Dye,
They were gone.
you wouldn't
They
have
would've
been able to help
gone.
with that.
Yeah.
Beltran was on his way June 24th of 04.
But I would have made sure I kept Beltran.
It's my birthday.
I would have
anniversary.
kept
That's
Beltran.
right. That's what we talked about that before. Yes.
But with the money, I would have
My
had the
24th
money to
anniversary.
afford to keep him in Kansas City.
That was my 24th anniversary. Was
living.
was 04, yeah, of living. That's right. And they traded my favorite player that night. So what I
that was your golden birthday then.
Yeah, that's right. It was a golden birthday. They traded Carlos Beltran that night, and I am such a dork, a geek, a loser that on my birthday that night, after they traded Carlos Beltran, I sat and listened to Sports Radio 810 with Seren Petro and Nate Bukaty.
God, those guys are old.
On the air, talking about the Carlos Beltran trade and interviewing Allard Baird and going through the Moneyball and Mark Tian and the different players they got for Carlos Beltran.
John Wood, part of that, right?
Jean Buck.
John Buck, not John
Jean
Buck.
Buck.
John Buck, yes.
You had Wood was the pitcher though. They had got Tian, Buck, and Wood.
Yep.
Travis Wood, I think, wasn't it?
I don't know. I don't remember. I'm not sure. I think Travis Wood might have been in the Johnny Cueto deal. There was another Wood later on. So, so I think that Wood might have been in the Cueto deal, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. But this was a different Wood, and then Jean Buck. And Mark Tian. So yeah, that's why I will always. I don't know when Damon or Dye what dates they were traded, but definitely Carlos Beltran. So you'd have bought the Royals.
I would have bought the Royals.
Michael, 5 years ago, what would you have bought as a 10-year-old?
I probably would have bought the Royals as well.
Yeah, you'd buy into the Royals.
When were you 10? 13? 2013?
I would have been 10 in 12.
2012.
Yep.
So
that's why when you were saying that you were 10 in 2004, I was like, I was 2 years old.
How old were you when I was 10? 1987.
Negative.
Yeah, negative 16.
He was a twinkle.
I was 7.
Was so. A couple Royals purchases, huh? That would have been right before they started.
Michael could have been the reason.
seasons.
Michael could have been if you bought in. Well, you were 10 years old, so you wouldn't have been able to buy in then. It's just at 10 years old, looking ahead to when you were in your 30s and made millions and millions of dollars. If it was like, man, I'm going to do this, and if I could ever, live out this childhood dream, like Mark Cuban buying a basketball team because he sold like broadcast.com.
I think Sterling brought up a good point, though. At
About
least as
time.
a child, I liked baseball way more than I liked football. It's easier to understand. You play the game.
It's easier to stand baseball?
In my opinion, it was.
Okay. Well, why do I have to touch the bag and sometimes I got to touch the runner? Why do I got to do
I took a
Yes.
refereeing class in college, and the basketball book's about this big, football's about this big, baseball's that. I mean, the
War and
rule
Peace.
book's so big.
What's a balk? Why is this a balk? Why isn't that a balk? Huh?
Honestly,
What's obstruction?
and also at 10,
Who's
I
got the
would
right to the
have
base
tried
paths?
to buy the Lakers.
So, but
At 10?
you could have bought Darcy that year. You could have bought the Chiefs really low.
Could have bought low.
2012, really low.
They might have been looking to sell. Who knows? The Hunt family. We're out. We are done here.
I couldn't because 03, that was a 13-3 season.
Yeah, that's right.
So I would have been.
It's a great start
Weren't
for Meal.
You were coming off a Mizzou Elite Eight around
Yeah,
then, weren't you?
it was-
You could have bought them.
No,
No, you
not
had
bad
an Elite Eight
coming up.
run.
Yeah.
You had 03 with that start that they got to the divisional round, and then you had the above 500 season for the Royals.
And then it was all
What a great year
downhill
for you.
like a decade.
And I believe the Chiefs started off like 9-0 that year.
Yeah, that was 9-0 year. Then
Yeah.
they went 13-3, and they lost to the Colts in the
No
divisional
pun
round. But and
Things
of course,
got bad quick for me.
Of course, the Royals went above 500, didn't make the playoffs, and then Mizzou lost in the Elite Eight. But you know what? That all happened in 1 year, in which there were 2 postseasons and an above 500 year. So that's a great year for you as a 10-year-old.
What would you have bought in 1990?
It would have been the Chiefs. That would have been like for my growing up. Like, okay, it's the Chiefs or the Royals, but football was like my first love in watching sports. So it would have been the Chiefs or a Missouri Final Four. I don't know. It would cost a lot of money to do that.
Sports Radio 810.
Cost a lot of money. Look that cheap. Really?
Then what would you have done with like 90% of the rest of your money?
Golfed.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Oh,
It
so
would
you're
be-
like Todd Lebo.
It would be pretty badass though to be like a partial owner of a team. of a baseball team or whatever. Plus also
but
he gets
getting to make any decisions.
Yeah, I want to be the GM.
He gets a decision. He gets to decide when he gets to throw out another first pitch to make up for that one that he spiked in the ground.
And we don't know his percentage interest in it, right?
I think it's 85%.
Yeah, right. Probably like not even 1%.
Probably like one. His percentage is 5 tickets and a parking
Mahomes
spot.
is that much either at the Royals.
No, I think Travis Kelce's percentage is 5 tickets and a parking spot to the Guardians.
It's funny.
game.
I don't have the urge, like, because I didn't grow up with fantasy sports. I remember like playing it once at a draft in high school. We went to like another town. It was all, of course, with magazines. You're writing down. You kept track, and you had to go look in the paper the next day. And there was no computers with it.
Yep.
So I didn't grow up with fantasy sports like my kids are obsessed with it, and they're like, I would love to run a real team because of fantasy sports. I never had that basis of like, oh, I manage a fake team. This would be fun in real life. So I've never really had that itch.
Yeah. Because you know what? I don't really succeed much in I think real.
I've learned I suck at that.
I think real GMing might be easier than fantasy football GMing. Yeah, I do. Because fantasy football is a lot about luck, and real GMing, like, you got to have some skill to go along with it. You know.
Do you guys know how much Cleveland is valued at?
The city?
The Guardians?
The baseball team's worth more than the city.
Oh.
So let me
At least
guess.
it's not Detroit.
I'm going to say, like, the baseball team, I'm going to way off probably. I'll say the baseball team's like $3.2 billion.
I was going to say either anywhere between 3 or 4, so I'll say 4.
I'll say $1.8 billion.
Yeah, $1.7 billion.
But when they actually sell it, though, it ain't going to be $1.8 billion.
They're valued at 1.7.
I know, yeah, but if they went
David
and sold
Blitzer is the main guy who also
Wolf?
of Sixers and him and Josh Harris, Sixers and New Jersey Devils.
Because was Sherman, or was he minority owner with the
the
main guy? Right?
Yeah, so he just exchanged that with Kelsey. So he's like, Kelsey can have some of my shares. That's fine. Mahomes
He's
has
like,
some
I know
shares
a
with the
guy,
Royals.
Travis.
Yes. We'll take a timeout, come back, continue rolling, wrap up the show. We've got tonight a little Crossroads soccer show, Beasler and Nate Bucati, and then the night shift with Michael Darcy.
Do you pronounce that apostrophe? I don't know.
And then at 9 o'clock, she's on the mic with Beckany Bowman. Bethany Bowman tonight at 9 o'clock. More's on next. right, wrapping up the show, not just the hour, the show. Are you going to be heading over to Lawrence on Friday?
On Saturday, I will be over there. I'm kind of banking on KU getting that win over Northeastern.
Yep.
Alma mater of Cam Schlittler, I learned last night.
Oh, that is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Warren went to Southeastern Louisiana. How about
Saturday
that?
at 5. It's been a cluster just getting tickets. They're all gone. They were gone at like 10 o'clock and 2 seconds.
Yeah, 10 and 30 seconds when it opened at 10. So, yeah. And it's a lot of Missouri State fans that were buying those up.
I'm sure.
Or
it was
Arkansas.
or Northeastern Husky fans.
Or Northeastern. Yep, could be that too. Sterling, going to head over there and root on the Jayhawks that you're a fan of?
You love them?
No, I will be golfing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll be watching it. I'll be checking it out.